Today's podcast is brought to you by Howler Head Whiskey. You can check them out at howlerhead.com, a handcrafted, award-winning, 80-proof Kentucky straight bourbon. And listen, damn it, it's got the flavors of banana. You like MMA, you like Dana White, you like the UFC. Let's support them, baby. Get the bourbon, get the Howler Head Whiskey, the only whiskey you will find at Fury Fighting Championships. HowlerHeadWhiskey.com, howlerhead.com.
And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.
New middleweight champ showing him love.
Adam V.
All right, guys, we're going to get started here. Again, if you guys have any questions for Perez or Gabe Macario, please have them ready. We'll bring them on here in just a little bit, but we're going to start recording the show now, so thank you guys for all being here.
Moisty one.
Moisty. Oscar.
Moisty, what you doing over there? Moisty causing some chaos and shit.
Putting his arm across
I seen you.
Mason Barber and stuff on TV.
I seen you grabbing some Mason Barber.
Flaunting it out to the world out there.
What are you doing out there, Oscar?
Oscar's doing this.
Yo.
You said he thought he was gay.
What happened, Oscar? You shocked the world.
He shocked the world. He went the opposite way of coming like out of the closet. He went in real quick. He was like,
He went way in.
He was like, no one knows.
He went in a big fashion.
Oh, nobody knows, man. This weekend is done. Hey, we're in another middle part of a fucking lot of shows, man.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Eric.
Yeah.
That's what we do, man.
That is what we do.
That's what we fucking do.
So we just finished up Fury FC 94. This weekend we've got is Sub 194? Yeah.
93.
93.
I don't know. There's
90
a
something.
lot of these numbers
I
are
think it's 92,
running
actually.
together at this point.
Yeah. I still say we do a mega 100 event
Well,
weekend.
I'm trying to make it to where 100 is gonna end up in Houston.
It's got to be.
It's got to end up here.
Well, yeah.
The way it's
Do
looking right now,
Fury
it's not.
FC
It'd be like
100
that much
on
better, San
like
Antonio.
Friday and
Yeah.
Submission Hunter Pro 100 on Saturday, like back to back.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit.
It's a lot of-
But we've done before.
Garcia Promotions Mania.
We've done Friday
Weekend.
night San Antonio, Sunday Houston,
Yeah.
and it was fucking great.
That's what I'm
Actually,
saying.
2 shows one weekend.
It was.
It was
good.
a trial run for these dual 100 shows coming up.
So hey, speaking of great nights, man, we crowned a new 185-pound champion.
New middleweight champ Adam Vigil, unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Adam Vigil, that ear was unbreakable.
I didn't realize it was hard to tell during the fight how much damage Ty Gordner was doing, but he was piecing up that eye. Like that eye was swollen.
Yeah.
That ear, like Mick pointed out his ear in like the third. It looks like that thing's gonna fucking fall off, man. Like that thing looked terrible.
Ty didn't look like he had been in a fight when he left.
He didn't.
That's crazy, right?
right?
Just how different people's body wears damage differently. It's crazy because Adam was definitely landing shots. I got a bunch of pictures, much stuff that I could see. Adam was landing a whole bunch of action during the fight, but that was a grueling match, man. Like that was definitely a long drawn out. They went 5 rounds beating the hell out of each other.
5-round championship war.
I would have loved to see a finish. I mean, obviously, we want to see finishes all the time, but it just wasn't the most exciting fight. And I hated that Mick was sitting right next to us.
I hated
and
that
that's
for those guys. Like I hated it, and you know, we talk all the time. We want finishes. We're looking for finishes. That's what Mick wants. That's what we're trying to find.
That's what everybody wants.
You spend a lot of time on the ground.
In those, the more time, the higher you get up with these rankings, and the more experienced fighter, it's hard to get a finish. Like it's not just this fucking you just finish somebody.
But it's not going to get easier.
It's not. No, it's not
When
going to
you
get
get to the next
easier.
level?
It's definitely not. But you know, some guys have this touch of death, and then some guys just have the ability to find the right moment. And then when you put two high, like Ty Gordon's fought everywhere too. You know, he's a very experienced fighter. And at no point was Mick checked out. Like Mick's watching the fight. It just clearly, it wasn't what he was looking for in that moment. I would think, you know, like he's looking.
Wayne
for,
just gave the signal with his ear.
He's looking for that finish. You know, like that's what he was hoping for. Fucking drama.
Like,
I just started sipping the Howlerhead, and we're already.
listen, I'm going to have to disagree with that. No point did Mick check out.
Mick was possibly checked out at some point.
All right, he was checked out.
I mean, bro, you got to keep his attention.
Yeah, man. I mean, he sees,
Like,
you
you
know,
got to keep him in it. There was
a
some
ton
fights
of
where
fights,
he
man.
was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Becca Irwin fight.
yeah.
I mean, I literally saw him say, man, I got to send this to Dana. And he
Yeah.
recorded it.
Send it to him right
And
away.
he sent it to him
Wow.
right there. That's the kind of fight you want to be in when you're fighting in
All
front
right,
of me.
so
you know?
to be the advocate for the fighter on this side, it's easier to get attention in the female and heavyweight divisions than it is as a 185-pound guy who's 10-1. What's more? I mean, no knock on Becca Irwin, she was fucking amazing. But be honest, what's more impressive? A 10-1 guy winning the 185-pound title that night, or Becca Irwin's 2 minutes of brilliance? Like, she was great for 2 minutes.
There's a lot of factors you got to factor in, which is age.
No, you're right. You're
Prospect,
right about that. It's just
future.
it's hard sometimes to be like,
I know. Yeah. I know.
fuck, that's like, yeah, man. He had a harder job that night. He was
He did.
fighting 5 rounds for a title.
And there was a lot on the line, and he wanted to make sure that he took that belt. But do you fight safe just to make sure you're going to take that belt home?
I don't know
Or
if
do
it's
you
because
fucking
yeah,
go
that
for broke?
I don't think a win like that gets him to where he wants to go.
you're not wrong. Neither of you are wrong. Like, he's going to have to come back and defend the title.
Yeah, well, I talked to Mick, and he said that Adam was already messaging him like the next day after the fight.
Man, Adam's doing his work.
Yeah,
man. He's
smart
trying.
move.
He's trying, but I just
He's
I
a
don't
great
get
guy.
it.
You know
He's
what
one
I'm
of the
saying?
best guys to
Yeah,
work
he's
with.
got the
Yeah.
look. You know, I mean, age
Well,
is
he's got a look. He's
Yeah.
got a look.
age is the only
Daddy's
thing
thick.
against him. Age is the only thing against him.
Daddy's thick.
What are you talking about, Rich? What?
Girth.
Girth?
Girthy.
Hey, that's
Your boy is got
Girth.
what she said, right?
Allegedly.
Hey, speaking of not as much girth, Gabriel Wanderlei.
Yeah, featherweights.
The featherweights threw down, and Batar. Dude, how good is Wanderlei, man?
Dude, insane.
Oh, did you see that transition?
Yeah, it was
He
beautiful.
fucking trapped the arm first with a body triangle, and then he like was getting a little high, and he just went straight to the back and
Yeah.
fucking
You got a rear naked
Dude.
choke, tap out. 4-14 into the first round.
That kid's super talented. So that puts him at 5-1.
yeah.
Yes.
And he's fighting Elijah Smith next.
That'd be fun.
That's a
If
fucking
those
amazing
guys
fight.
if those guys each had 2 more victories each, we'd be saying it's a title fight.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, they're just not quite experienced enough yet for the Fury belt. Talent wise, they're there.
If I could get some other guys to say yes to either one of those guys, I probably
You hold
wouldn't
off
even-
on that
I
one.
wouldn't even
Yeah.
put them together. I mean, because you got to think, we still got Sean Mora in that 35 bracket.
Got Cameron Smotherman, let everybody know that he's not
I
done.
mean, we got Mondo Gutierrez. We got
Yeah.
Ryan Hughes. Like Brian Mitchell.
I want B Mitch. I forgot about B
I
Mitch.
mean, there's
man.
still a bunch of guys that are
Yeah.
sitting in that mix, you know?
Yeah, speaking of Cam Smotherman, man, how about that Anaconda finish?
Oof.
Who had that on their bingo card?
Nobody.
I think had he not thought he had a walk-off knockout in the first round, he would have finished the fight.
Should have been over in the
And it
first.
should have been done.
Yep.
And he took it for granted, and
Mm-hmm.
he ended up getting clipped.
Yeah.
He got hit a few times.
Yeah.
Cameron did exactly what he was supposed to do against the opponent. Right? Like he was there. I think we all thought he had that first round. And he
let off the gas
he
pedal.
pulled off too easy.
Yeah,
He
man.
backed up a little too
You
easy.
got to go in and finish the job. Make Joe Solis, pull you off of
Yeah.
him.
Us getting pulled off, man. Jesus, Moses Diaz with the punch of the night, man, on Cody Freeman.
Oh,
Like,
man.
And it's one of those ones, man. I'm posting these recap pictures, and we had this.
I saw that sequence of photos you posted.
dude. We had this conversation the week before, or actually that night, with some fighters asking me, "Why didn't you post my picture?" And listen, I'm very honest when it comes to you got the shit beat out of you, and if I posted every picture from your fight, you'd look like you got the shit beat out of you in 50 pictures. And I'm not trying to portray that image for everybody. That's not what we're trying to. We're not. I try to put a package together of what explains how the fight went, without making it look like you just got worked. That's not what we're trying to do. And as long as we've been in this industry, been around these guys, you develop relationships with coaches and friends and these fighters, and you feel bad, man. Like, I feel bad sometimes when I'm posting a picture of like Cody Freeman. Cody Freeman's a great guy, man. But that's also one of the best fucking pictures I've ever caught. Like that sequence of like pop, 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 the eyes rolling back, him going down, the referee stopping it. Damn, dude, I can't not post that. But at the same point,
you're a dick for doing that.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I had to post my teammates losing. I've had to post my own fighters losing. That's just how it is, man. It's just part of my position. But Moses Diaz looked phenomenal. Another name in that 145 division hat saying, hey, I'm not done, man. He's 6-2 now. Writes the shit back with
That's his second fight for us?
Second
He lost to
fight for
Cameron
us.
Graves.
Yeah. Yeah, so he puts his name now in that 145 division as well. Speaking of nice, dude, how about Mia Graw? Graw looked good.
Tap out with arm triangle. Round 2, 141.
That was a weird tap out, right? It didn't even look like it was really in.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's not too often you see the arm triangle from half guard finish somebody.
It's just how strong and how raw Mia Graw is.
And also, it's the second round of a fucking fight too. Like they're tired. Like that girl probably at this point was like, all right, I'm gonna make a decision now to go on about my day.
Yeah, fight another day.
It's dinner time at this point, you know. Like, I've got nothing else going on. This is not going the way I want it to go. Let's go home. It seemed like more of that. I'm sure Mia's got a strong squeeze. That's just not a situation you would normally see someone tap out from that position. Paris Moran did get the same one. Gabe Macario throwing out some knowledge out there for us.
Yeah, man. He's like, hey, call me in already,
He's like,
damn
I'm
it.
ready to come in. I'm ready to go, coach. almost. Hey, one of the. I thought this was maybe the fight of the night. Lester Botras Jr. and Corey Windham.
Yeah, it was a banger for sure.
Fight. That was a great fucking fight for both of those guys.
Hats off to Corey Windham. I did not realize how good of a wrestler Corey Windham was. So I knew he had wrestled some in college.
He had some takedown defense.
I was really impressed by his ability to. Lester would get his hips away from him, and he was able to manage to get his body weight back. That's super strong hips. That's hard to do, man, to get your hips back like that. A great fight. It was a great fight. I think that's the fight Lester needed at this point of his career. A fight that was.
It was a challenge for him.
What you wanted to see was what happens when he couldn't get the fight to the ground. How would he react? A lot of guys are like, fuck, man, what am I going to do now? And he acted like, okay, well, fuck it. And he would just start throwing. Like,
dude,
we got to see two sides of his game.
He opened up with that Spartan 300 kick. I love when he does that, like because he kicks the shit out of people with that. Like,
bro, that's straight to the chest.
Yeah. Get over here, like he's fucking Venom. Jesus Christ,
Yeah, Scorpion.
Yeah. So Fight Pass ran some cool articles as well on Lester. So it was cool to see them kind of picking up on a local kid. We get a lot of coverage on when we bring the Austin O'Connors and the Jacoby Smiths and Nick Piccininis, but we really haven't seen a whole lot of focused coverage on a Houston-based guy in a while. And
is Lester 22?
Is he 22?
I think he's 22.
I don't know if he'll even tell me. It won't tell me here.
He's 22. He'll be 23 here soon.
He's young, man.
Picks up the unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board over Corey Windham.
Corey's going to be a problem in that division as well, though.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him back.
Opening up the card, we had Mauricio Gomez staying undefeated with his rear naked choke of Jordan Pluton. Gomez is silently building up a good little record here, man. 4-0. I think he's got 4 finishes.
Yeah.
So he's pushing his way.
His last finish was rear naked choke as well, I think.
Yeah. Is he out the MMA lab? Is that where he's out of, or is that Moses Diaz?
Moses
out of MMA lab.
Yeah,
Coconut
he's in
Creek.
Florida.
Okay.
Coconut Creek, Florida boy.
And that brings us to Becca Irwin and Tati Garcia.
Tie day.
Is it tie day?
Yeah, it's tie day.
Okay.
She made it known she wouldn't walk out if we got her name wrong.
She
one of the inspectors came and told me how to say her name. So yeah, she's don't get it wrong, man, or she won't be back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know all that information, but that's cool.
Wayne's lying.
So Eric Garcia's cousin didn't want to walk out. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, she sold her ass off in tickets, man.
Yeah, she did.
She's got a crowd. She's got a following. I mean,
She was easy.
she wants to go to 115 at this point.
She probably should.
See what we can
She
get
probably
her.
should.
Becca's a fucking problem, and hats off to this girl.
Fuck did we do with Becca Irwin now?
That's what I was gonna say. Hats off to this girl for letting Becca make her debut, right?
Yeah.
When nobody else wanted to. Yeah. That was my
trying.
next thing. That's what we're working on.
Yeah,
If we can get Amar Israeli
Amar.
at 25.
It's really hard. We've got this group right now that we're trying to match. Well, Hollerhead, where you guys at?
Go ahead, Rich. Get that good feeling shit in you. Let's see.
Get that monkey spirit in you.
Poor Rich.
Daddy's busy this morning. We got shit to do. I gotta go light right now.
That was light?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That was half the bottle.
Thank you, Daddy Dana. Anyway, we have
No,
this
get that
this
string on.
group. When you look at like Becca Irwin and O'Connor and Jackson Glass, like all these people who are so freaking hard to get matched, just to get people to say yes. And
That's the problem with Austin O'Connor.
exactly like these when we reach out to these coaches, sometimes it feels like, hey man, we're not trying to punish you. Here's Becca Irwin. But at the same point, it's like, I feel like I'm punishing you because I'm offering you Becca Irwin.
I'm hoping that there's somebody, and this is normally how it usually works, like we'll match one of these tough prospects and then somebody somewhere will see a hole in their game and be like, well, fuck, I can beat that guy. And then it makes it easier to match. I feel like that's what happened with Aswell for a little bit at the beginning. Everybody wanted to fight him, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I
And
feel
then
like
nobody wanted to fight him.
Aswell's
later
a
on.
different story in that
He wasn't a prospect coming out the gates.
coming
You're
out
right.
coming out the gates. Everyone thought Aswell was an easy fight.
Everybody thought they could beat him.
Said, "Oh, we'll fight Aswell.
Yeah.
We'll fight Aswell. We'll fight Aswell."
So it flipped.
And then
Basically
it,
flipped.
and then
It was the opposite.
Yeah, once he got
and
around 5 wins.
It was after the Yachty fight. Like
Yeah.
after the loss to Yachty, like even though he lost that fight, he earned a lot of respect because nobody wanted to fight Yachty already. So
Yeah.
so
You know, Yachty was blown away with how strong Michael is.
really.
Yachty, I mean, Yachty's a tank, and he's like, Coach, he's so strong.
It's that's one of the things we're gonna bring our guests here in just a minute too.
It'd be cool if they could hear that.
That's one been great to have on the podcast, Bob. If you couldn't wait, it's great to see to hear that kind of feedback because Aswell is one of those guys that was from a commentary and not being his coach or being on the side. It's kind of trying to figure out like what the fuck is he actually good at? Because like when you watch him, he wasn't just crazy athlete, like. He's an athletic, but not this crazy athlete. He was not this great striker. He had pressure, and it seemed like he could control situations pretty well. But when I watched the Yachty fight, I had all this about Yachty. I already thought, I was like, Yachty's a great striker. Yachty's super strong. Yachty's super athletic. And then I watched Mike go in there. I was like, holy shit! Like maybe he is strong and athletic. And getting past that fight. That fight really kind of changed his outlook in his career. And I think Mike changed a few things because the guy that we got after the Yachty fight just started fucking finishing people.
Yeah.
And he put it on Alton.
He had the Alton fight and then Nate Richardson.
He had two after Yachty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He finished them both.
Wow. No, he's a dog.
yeah. So it was really cool to see that. And then again, going back to Becca, I was not shocked when Becca's first fight pulled out, just because I think the closer it got to it, the more it became like.
I mean, that girl made it all the way to face-offs, though, man.
I know.
Yeah.
But let's all agree, face-offs and 24 hours later walking to get in the cage is two different things.
Yeah, I know,
Two
but like
different
it's rare to see that. We don't see that very often nowadays.
We don't see it very
We don't
often.
see that. I
but
mean, what,
can't
twice
say,
a year?
I can't say I'm shocked that I saw it happen to Becca.
I
can't. I think
I
the
was
reality
shocked,
of
man.
fighting Becca became a portion of the issue that day.
Yeah.
Like she's extremely talented. How long have we been talking about Becca?
I mean, that girl
She was
that we
like
had
fucking
got for her
7
was
years old.
2-1, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it was 2-1 versus debut.
Yeah, but it's 2-1 versus Becca.
4-time Muay Thai champion.
The only person more decorated than Becca is Valentina.
It's
Boyce
crazy.
Gracie. Oh.
Boyce Gracie.
No, fuck.
So, I don't know. Lost where the hell I'm talking about on here.
Talking about Becca.
Jacob Silva said Yadier's next fight is a banger. It is. Some little child just opened the door.
Is that your daughter? You by yourself
Sam.
today?
No, I got my daughters.
We're going to run through the rest of these fights real quick
Did you
so we
bring
bring
a
our guests
prostitute or
in.
not today?
No.
No
Rated,
toots.
rated
Okay.
G, please.
No toots today.
What,
Yeah.
Bucks?
Um,
What, a Bucks?
Probably, I think this is maybe the upset of the night. Omar El Shala losing to Miles Banks. I mean, winning versus Miles Banks.
Losing to Miles Banks.
What do you get?
This is episode of the night, man.
You taking my drink?
Yeah,
away?
he's cutting you off.
I mean, Omar was definitely the underdog.
Omar El Salah
Man, so-
was it definitely Miles Banks was kind of the favorite going in. Everybody thought, and Omar proved a lot of people wrong. Miles Banks, man, it seemed like he shut down.
The backstory on that is we've made that fight twice.
Twice, yeah.
We've made that fight twice in the last year and a half. They were supposed to debut against each other, and then Miles tore his ACL. Miles was out for a whole year. We rematched him. Something happened with Omar.
There was some bad blood there. Omar was talking a lot of trash about Miles pulling out until he realized that the injury was legit. Peace. Right.
And then Omar had to pull out the second time they were booked because he moved. He had some family, personal issues, whatever. And then Miles went in on him pulling out, and then that bad blood just kind of stayed.
So there's a big backstory there.
Omar, I never saw anything in him that thought he wasn't going to win that fight. Like in his mind, he was like, "I'm fucking."
I saw that in
I'm bringing it.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
You know,
unanimous decision for Omar.
Part of it is his style is fucking weird.
Mick was like, "Dude, this fucking guy just won't go away."
No,
he was just straightforward,
and he crashes into you.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like just like some guys will throw a combination and then close that distance and try to clinch or shoot. Like there's a sequence that comes with it. Like you know to expect contact and then they're gonna hit you. You know.
No, this dude.
He was just throwing
throwing body, belly, titties, everything.
He would drop his head all the way down to the ground and then fling his arm up. Almost like he was trying to throw a lariat, like he's trying to fucking.
That's why they call him the Bull.
It was just.
He was charging.
I think he was.
Bro.
I think that really threw Miles off.
Well, Miles gas tank too. I mean, I guess
it's grueling, man. Like if you're clinched up like that, you guys, that's fucking grueling, man. That's tiring, just to be clinched up.
That's
like
why
that
I don't do it no more,
time.
bro. That's why I don't do it.
Listen, I don't know if that was a good loss for Miles. Like it's one of those ones where we talk about after the Robellis fight, he came back and I thought he was a little gun shy at the beginning of that fight. Maybe as the fight wore on, he got a little bit more comfortable and he won like he was supposed to. I didn't see in this fight where I can't say that he wasn't ready for the fight. I don't know if he was ready physically for the fight, but just something seemed off, man. He didn't seem to be in the mindset that I've seen him in before. And I hope whatever was wrong that night, he can figure out. And because I don't think there's a nicer guy. And he's a crazy athlete. Like, the guy's a very good athlete. I don't know if clinching up with Omar and getting into a knee clinch battle was the best decision.
What's your thoughts on Miles and moving forward? Like, I feel like he needs to go find a place where he can get some heavyweights in front of him. I mean,
it's so hard, you know. Like I have to.
He's the biggest guy in the room right now.
He is the biggest guy in their room, but he's going to be the biggest guy in most rooms.
Yeah,
I mean, I think when you look at and I mean we've got Bob here. We'll be able to talk about Derek and stuff as well when it comes to this. But I think heavyweights are anomalies as it is, and you have to be somewhere where they know how to work with the heavyweight to gain the best of what he can do into a system, and you have to then use that. I think he's 100% there yet? No, he's 2-2. He breezed through kind of everybody early on. He would benefit from having some training partners his size for sure. For sure he would. I know they've got one or two over
Rakeem
there.
Still over there?
He is, but Rakeem looks so small compared to him, dude. I think Rakeem was at the fights. I think. I could be wrong. He was there? Yeah. There's another black guy that looked just like Rakeem. Sorry, you know. So, wait, did Bob say that? Bob said that. So, I don't, maybe.
Look at Wayne.
So I do. I'll make sure I say this clearly because, obviously, I'm a war affiliate. This isn't like a new thing.
Yeah, bitch, watch what you say. They'll take your black belt from you.
Biased AF opinion coming in.
I didn't need it when I got it. It's all right. Jeremy had an extra belt. He was like, "Hey, here you go." So
he was looking for a belt when he found that one.
Do I think it could help him to broaden and go out to some places with some bigger guys for sure. But I also believe in that you have your home base,
Right.
and that you work with the guys you work with.
I don't disagree.
And like that's
Get
your
some cross-training would be a good-
that's your home.
I don't know.
I don't think there's one gym that has everything for everybody. I think you've got to try to take what's the best in your city and take from your city as much as you can. You know, again, I use, you know, using Derek as an example. You know, Derek doesn't do all of his strength and conditioning just at Main Street. Like, he's got a place he goes and does his strength and conditioning. And then, but he has Bob, who puts everything together. You know, and again, I think he's early in his career. He's 2-2. He's not like, we're not talking about this 10-fight veteran yet.
Right,
He
he's
is,
got time.
yeah, he has not become what he will be. I just think a fight like this mentally is worse than physically.
I guess
Like,
when I think
it's-
about it, and I was like, man, we're gonna get Miles going. He's coming. He's making his pro debut. He's 4 fights in. I thought he'd be 4-0 at this point. We had high hopes at the beginning.
Sure.
But I mean, they're still there.
Yeah.
We just have a setback now, so we got to make the right move moving forward. Who are we going to match him with, and when? We're going to give him some time.
Jacob said with the shout out to Larry Crow for getting tossed around by Derek. How many years has Derek tossed around Larry Crow and fucking us?
At least 13.
At least, right?
They've been friends since middle school, so probably way before that.
Hey, how about this life connection? Shout out to Larry Crow for being my wife's kickboxing coach.
Oh, I
What?
thought you were gonna say
Two
that.
nights.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out. Well, this shit is rover. No.
Larry Crow, the
Shout
cherry
out to Larry
taker.
Crow for causing me a divorce.
Dude, I have seen Larry, take ass whoopings. He loves Derek. Derek
Yeah.
genuinely, bro, I have seen him take some ass whoopings, man. And Jacob, he is not wrong.
Yeah.
Jacob is exactly right, man. He's a true friend, and bro, he's taking.
Hey, so my wife started training at Revolution recently because she can't train with me. Like, we can't fucking do it. You guys, it's not going to work. She wants to learn jiu-jitsu finally. I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. Go do that. So of course Jeff Messina's down the street. Amazing fucking place to be.
Don't get
So-
Tom Brady, bro.
Yeah, well, listen. As I've said from day one, if you can take her, she's yours. You know, like I didn't have shit when we got together. I won't have shit when she leaves. It's fine. We'll be okay. But she comes home and she goes, "Hey, I'm gonna try this." They have a kickboxing class there, and Bob, you know Sam. She's pretty good at kickboxing. She's pretty experienced. She's pretty picky. She's like, "I'm gonna go try out this class." I'm like, "Okay." She comes back and she says, "Hey, do you know a guy named Larry?" I'm like, "Larry who?" She's like, "Larry Crow." I'm like, "Is he your coach?" She's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "When I said my name, he got a big smile." I'm like, "I bet he did." I bet he did. Shout out to Larry, man. Been a Houston OG, been around a long time. Finishing out this Fury recap with 2 Houston OGs, Michael Murphy and David Armis.
Another friend of Derek Lewis, isn't he?
Yeah. You know, he knows all those guys. We can't skip over the fight you just tried to skip over.
I know. We'll talk about
All right,
it. We'll
all
talk
right,
about it.
all right.
We'll talk about it in just a second. But I'm always kind of like divided on how I feel about these older OG type fights. Like David Armis and Michael Murphy are 2 guys who've been around forever. I want to say David Armis is probably got to be 13, 14 years in at this point. Like somewhere in that range.
It's got to be our most tenured fighter on the roster. Like total fights.
Not many Ray Trujillo? Oh, you mean total fights?
Is Ray Trujillo still on our roster? Oh.
He's up there. He's definitely.
Y'all
he's
got to
like
get him
at
signed to a
30.
contract so you can induct him into the Hall of Fame, right?
On one hand, it's cool to see those guys. Fight. I like seeing the 2 guys fight. I thought that was cool. Smart game plan from Michael Murphy. You want me $5? I did call him for the first takedown, which you owe me that money, by the way. You can cash that.
Man, he's 13 years in.
13, yeah, I figured I was close to it. So
Yeah, we were talking about it in the cage after the fight.
look,
You're owed money for that.
yeah, you owe me money for that. For
what,
Michael
bitch?
Murphy took the first takedown. So
No thanks.
hey, it was cool to see those guys in the cage. Congratulations to Michael Murphy for winning. I'm glad to
Michael Murphy
I'm
talked
glad to
shit.
see both guys walk out without being injured.
About
Like,
you
cool.
saying he was going to take the first takedown.
Did he? Hey, I won my money. That's all I know.
30-27 across the board for
And
Michael Murder
Then we
Murphy.
had another fucking crazy black belt mic interview.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Hey, shout out to Ayin Varela. You know, he gets the tap out to the guillotine, 243 into the very first round. But yeah, I mean that's all well and good, but that's not the story of that fight, really, man. This is the post-fight interview.
That shit's insane.
Logan Woods delivered a great promo a week prior in San Antonio, but man, this is like promo of the year candidate right here, Rich.
So look, Logan Woods had a great promo. Ayin Varela had a great therapist
Session?
that was a session.
Should we play real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, play it.
I'm here with your winner, Ayin Varela. Ayin, it was a beautiful takedown. Were you kind of surprised about the hook flip that happened? You ended up on bottom.
Can't wait to hear what he has to say about this hook flip.
It happens to me all the time. I'm used to this shit. I fucking train with Greg Boy. He's a fucking flyweight motherfucker. I'm fucking heartbroken. Time out. The reason I got into this sport was because these fucking stupid girls want to keep fucking breaking my fucking heart. And my grandma fucking died. So yeah, I'm alligator. So fuck off.
He told Mike Alexander,
Fuck off.
What did Mike do?
Look, did you not hear that interview?
Yeah.
God damn, you're talking over Alex Morono like deadpans it. So that's an interesting way to win over the fans, but we'll see how it works out, Ray Hill. Shout out to the great white Alex Morono on commentary.
He just deadpanned that shit.
Yeah, that was fucking
boys,
awesome.
I don't know if that's the way I would have went about
Yeah.
this. But, hey, and then opening up the card, we had we had two other victories. Philippe Rocha with the it said triangle choke. Was it arm triangle?
Yeah, arm triangle. It's an arm triangle, 307 into round number 1. And then
Bruce
Xavier with the rear naked choke, 257 into the first round.
Over Matt. Hey, shout out to Matty Ice, 185 pounds. He looked fucking phenomenal.
Dude, yeah, man. Like,
I mean, that kid was way over.
He was
300.
322 when he started fighting for us, right?
him and Martin
Those
Pineda.
should have been reversed, just so you know.
Just so
Just so you know, moving forward.
So it should have been Rocha and Costello.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
No.
I got you. Hey, that voice you guys hear in the background, we got two OGs of Houston MMA here. We have got crew, Bob Perez, and we have Gabriel Macario, guys. Come on in out of the show, man. Let's show you something. Diego, insert the cheers.
Come on, Diego.
You sit next to the boss man. Oh, I like it. I'm tipsy too.
You like that?
I'm tipsy. They get me drunk.
Down on Main Street with crew Bob Perez.
Yes, sir.
And Gabriel Macario.
What's up, beautiful people?
Welcome into the podcast, fellas.
Thank you.
OG Gabe Macario. What was your first fight with us? Was it in Denver?
It was. Yeah,
That was-
That was the Jordan
Co-main in Denver.
Tony
Titoni.
fight.
And that's when I knew this guy's crazy because he had just come from Brazil. He had been here for a while. He's like, Coach, I'm thinking of taking this fight. And I'm like, well, I couldn't go for whatever reason. I think I had a UFC or something. And I'm like, yeah, he's fucking nuts. And he still gave the guy hell. And it was a short notice.
Oh, not only that, it was one of the bloodiest fucking fights.
I remember that.
Yeah, I got basically arrested, fucked.
Was that
And I
2019?
did. That was
2019.
2019, yeah. And I did more damage than he did from the bottom. I just got taken down every round, just throwing elbows. He was
So
like,
I want to say Justin Reisberg was in your corner, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I got this great photo that day of you and Justin. Justin's looking at the cut on you, and Justin got
Your
this
kid
big
fought
smile.
that day.
I did have a kid fight that
That
day.
25 or 15 or fought Oscar, didn't he?
Linares.
Did he fight Oscar?
Yeah, Linares. Yeah.
Fuck, hey,
yeah.
Oscar.
Thanks for reminding us of fucking moral losses. Thanks, man. We just great. My guy lost too.
Was it a moral loss or was it an
It
actual
was a
loss?
fucking moral, mental, physical, emotional. Got that ass beat,
And I
dog.
felt so bad for him, I hired him after.
I think you had to. You had
I was already
to.
working. I was already on the team. But that was my first time seeing Gabriel fight, and I remember just like you got cut, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like you were kind of got into it then. Like you're like, "All right, cool, we're bleeding. You're gonna bleed too now." You know,
yeah.
so
I gotta stop doing that.
The one thing I can say about
like every fight.
the one thing I
doesn't
can say
look good
about
for the
Gabe,
judges.
like he'll hit me up. I'm like, God, Eric, come on, man. But it's Gabe, and I have to remember that as a coach. And we've had that talk. So is our goal to go to the UFC and 4 or 5 fights, blah blah blah. Gabe's one of those guys, and he's told me, he's like, I just want to fight, and we'll see how things go. And me as a coach, I respect that. Yeah. I respect that. He takes fights that I'm, injured, whatever. Like, dude, come on, let's be smart. But he is one of the truest fighters that I've ever seen. And I mean that.
Yeah,
I mean that.
Yeah, I believe it.
When we look back, and we've talked about this on some other episodes, we talk about great fights that we've seen. You come up often, like you come up often in this mix of great fights, and like just your whole series with Shaquem, and then you like the Ultim fight, fucking Galveston.
Oh, it was September's a year, I think.
That was an insane crowd and moment during that fight, because neither of you kind of fought the way people expected you to fight, but as you were watching the fight, it was everything that a Gabriel Macario fight is.
The way we prepared for Ultim was totally, and we talked afterwards. We were backstage with Ultim, and we're talking, and really cool. Yeah, I mean, I've known him since he was a kid, but like he fought totally different than we had planned for.
So you could grapple, so you wasn't looking to grapple. But I just prepared for that kind of Kanibasami, that flying scissor to the hook. Prepare for that a lot.
Never came.
He just banged it out, man.
Just boxing.
And he did really well, man. He did a great job. They both did. It was a hell of a fight. Was it fight of the night, right? It was fight of the night.
Yeah, it was. It was a fight of the.
Oh, that's right.
I think we gave it fight of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys did.
It was fight of the year. It's one of the top. When you talk about Houston MMA and Fury fight, dude, it's right there.
Absolutely.
It for me, it goes into that same realm. And I know these are older fights. Not everybody's going to remember these, but like Jesus Rivera, Chase Petrie,
they changed, and Ray Trujillo. Jesus changed. He's the common denominator. Dude. He changed. I remember the Cage Door writing about it. With the fight with Jace and the fight with Ray, changed the face of MMA, and they did. They absolutely did.
What happened to Jesus?
Man, he was at my 50th. We got hammered together. He's just living his life. His son is now going to start coming. He's like 21 now. Yeah. It's just crazy.
I think people.
No, sir, he doesn't train at all anymore.
People forget he was already older when those fights were going on.
Correct.
And he was a full-time. He had a full-time job. He had
software engineer. Yeah.
I met him at Militich.
That's right.
We were all training at Militich together, and then the Exodus happened. But he left before that and went to 4 Ounce.
Yeah.
And
what is the Exodus?
Sam Hoger telling everybody, I'm fucking leaving. Everybody went, all right. All right.
Sam fucking Hoger.
So Jesus had been around a long time. So when those fights happened, he had been a kickboxer in Spain or some shit?
Yeah, he was in Spain. So his background was Kyokushin karate, and that's what actually turned into the Dutch style. So when you've moved with him, like when you would touch Jesus, man, it hurt you. He was just 100%. Calloused. I remember one time I had to work late. I couldn't make it to the gym. So he called me up and he's like, no, I'm sorry. I was in Dallas to corner fight. And he called me up. It was a Saturday. He's like, hey, Bob, I've got some bad news. And I'm like, what's up? He was like, I was sparring with Homer, and I kicked him in the fucking shin, and I knocked him out. He broke his leg.
Oh.
And I'm like, you kicked him in the shin, and you knocked him out, and he broke his leg. No, I kicked him in the shin.
Yeah.
And so is my buddy Homer. Shout out to Homer, 713 Tattoos. Yeah. He was sparring with Jesus. He kicked him across the chin, and he went straight down. Spiral fracture on the leg. So when Homer went straight down, it was one of these. Oh, dude. And he had a few surgeries after that. And to this day, I mean, he's got to be in his 40s now. Still walks from Jesus Rivera. Jesus.
Many fucking like stories of Jesus like that. I remember, so on Wednesdays we had Knockout Wednesday at Militich, and literally we would all spar until somebody got fucking knocked out. Like that was the
great training. Yeah, we all trained that way. We all trained that way. Yeah.
And so like these rounds, it was Drew Ratajczyk, Jason Sullivan, fucking Chico back when he was young Chico, Jesus Rivera, Colin Wright when he was still reading books on the side of the mat, and then coming on the mat and trying shit. And we had this Alex kid Russian, it was a Russian kid named Alex, and fucking Jesus. It did not matter who it was, and you could hear him fucking. That breathing as he's fucking hitting you.
Yes.
And I remember like thinking when I got there, I was already blue belt. I had fucking been there for a while. I was like, dude, I'm going to be fine. I'll be okay. And the first time he kicked me, I remember locking eyes with Chico and looking at Chico. Why are you sparring? Looking around.
Yeah.
he's like,
Leg kick?
No,
yeah,
bro.
dude,
So let me
dude, they were like lead fucking pipes.
no. Let me tell you. So
Well, that was only 50%.
my leg kicks are hard, and people have said like, Bob, your leg kicks are like I'm getting hit with a bat.
Yeah.
They said Jesus, and it's true because I felt it. Feels like it's a truck running over your femur really
So
slowly.
imagine that when him and Jace fought,
Oh, dude.
Oh
he
God.
lit Jace's legs up.
He did. Well, dude, you know that sprawl drill that I'll do like with a half dummy? And over the years you learn, and I've always kept that drill. We did that for Jace because Jace was a brown belt at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jace is a freaking stud. He's my friend. I've always had just the highest amount of respect for him. I always will. But we were very worried going into that fight, from the takedown. Jesus actually took Jace down and got full mount as a white belt. And Jace's dude, he's a Travis Took at the time, a Travis Took brown belt.
Jace is
solid.
He's as solid as you can
Solid.
I remember Jace opened up with like a 1, 2, 3, and he clipped him.
100%.
Yes.
He rocked him.
100%. Because
And
Jace could box. Lewis would.
And he
Lewis would.
shot in on him, and somehow when he shot, Jesus ended up on top.
Yeah. It was crazy, man.
Jesus was one of those guys. If he had come across 10 years later, he could be a household name.
Dude, he's the only guy at the gym back in the old 4-ounce days that would give Pineda hell.
Dude, I remember watching him and Akira.
Oh, God.
Fucking like.
It was just like, you want to charge admission for those things, man.
Yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
like those guys. I mean, shout out to Jesus Rivera again.
Jesus, we miss you, buddy.
But like your fights kind of go into that pantheon, and there's a handful of guys. And hey, while we're here, I want to make sure because it's on my mind right now. Man, happy birthday to Saul Solis. The OG. Today as we're recording.
Cheers to Saul.
Cheers to Saul.
OG, baby. OG.
But the guys who've been around like Texas MMA, I'm not talking about world, just Texas Houston MMA. Like your fights are like historical. Like they're part of history.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job.
The sparring sessions usually too.
For
If he
sure.
does say so himself.
We touched on this the last time I was on. It's been a while, but one, you've always been my boys. And I'm not just saying this. Very proud of everything that you've done, and the ones that have stuck through it throughout the years, whether they're coaches or you have success if you just don't quit.
Right.
So I'm so happy to see that. That being said, I really hope all you young guys out there understand how lucky you are to be fighting for a promotion like Fury. I mean, and I mean that. You have to think when Pineda fought Mahon back in, I think it was 07, April of 07. Back then, dude, there was no negotiating for pay. Not that we do, because you guys pay great, but like, I'm just saying there was no amateur at the time. When Pineda fought Mahon, we're at weigh-ins like, is that him? Is that him? And that was a very common thing. You didn't know who you were fighting. Wow. Colin Control's first fight was against Yves Edwards. He had no idea who it was, So to you young bucks out there, just know we talked about Saul Solis, the path that man made for all of us here, myself included. My teacher was his student. Dude, you guys are really, really lucky to fight for a promotion like Fury. I cannot express. Dude, we fought in backyards before.
Especially amateurs.
Yeah.
Amateurs getting the experience of fighting under those lights. It's a pro event, right? You guys have the same
thing.
Cards and amateur cards. Bro, back in the day when I was fighting amateur, amateur was backyard.
Yeah.
It's backyard like if you had a ring, an elevator ring.
Some guy opened his garage door.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But no, man, honestly, I say it all the time to Eric when we're on the phone, dude, man, great job. But once again, you young guys out there, young men and women, understand how fortunate you are.
They don't understand.
They don't.
I think that's probably just younger. Hey, we probably didn't either when we were younger kids,
generation feels like
but
they deserve it.
It's
They're
really,
entitled to it.
it's really cool what you guys have provided through your hard work. I've been damn near every single show you've ever done, and to see the evolution. We're out by the Civic Center now, and all the memories come back. It's amazing. It's amazing.
THA Livia said, offer Macario some of that Sprite. Macario drinks no Sprite. He wants straight gasoline.
Oh, he's a manly man.
Yeah,
He's good.
He's got straight
Around
gasoline.
the soda.
He don't want the sugar.
That's right.
So, I had some questions I wrote out that I kind of just wanted to get some input from you, Bob,
Sure.
as well. You've been around Houston MMA. It feels like fucking forever.
I started in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been here forever. Currently, when you look at the current crop of fighters that are around here, and who's the best striker that you've seen? Give me.
Well,
you can name multiple.
First of all, I have to be holy shit.
Yeah.
The pool of talent that we have now.
Fucking insane, right?
It's amazing, dude. And I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. I don't give a shit what gym you're from or whatever. I want to see Houston people do well, especially Fury people. I want to see them do well. Strikers, you know, of course you have like the Becca Irwins, you know, who are, you know, purely, you know, they're strikers that come into an MMA realm and hopefully can use it. Right. So Becca obviously is one that pops into my head. Man, Jackson, that kid, people haven't seen him yet, and I'm not going to give too much. Yeah. But Eric offered into it. Like, fuck no, we're not fighting that kid, man. I think Eric forgets the people I know sometimes. People are going to be surprised when they see Jackson's jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
You know, so that being said, he's one as far as a striker that I think, bro, unlimited potential.
So crazy. The kid's 6.
He's a baby, dude. He's young.
Something hilarious. So one of my guys moves to Austin. Mm-hmm. And so of course I hit up Cody Steele. I'm like, hey, one of my students, he's got 2 fights. He's only got about a year of training, man. Like he wants to come out and train. Cody's like, of course, come on out. I got this. Jackson kid is around the same age. And like 2 months later, I see this video come out, and it's just Jackson beating the shit out of my kid repeatedly. Yeah. So when he came back to the gym, like he comes back 6 months later, we're like, "You're just a fucking highlight reel."
No, for sure.
He's like, "There's nothing you can do."
No, for
He's
sure.
Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Standing on the ground, there's nothing you can do.
I'm going to go ahead and say his jiu-jitsu is better than his striking. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Dude, he's with the Tackett boys.
I'm telling you, dude.
I
Yeah.
posted a poster the other day, and he was like 8 years old when he was competing.
For sure. But this is the thing, and I've seen it in my career. You've seen it in y'all's career. As technical and as beautiful his striking is, or Becca's is, it takes that one dog that doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And I'm telling, because we've experienced it. We've been on the receiving end of a beatdown, you know, where like on paper, we're technically light years beyond. That being said, I've said it about like Big Derek. It's not necessarily the most technical striker. It's the most effective. You know, so somebody that's going to beat Jackson or a Becca or, you know, somebody like that is just going to have to be one that weathers the storm and just like, I don't give a shit. You know, exactly. But I think to answer your question, going on a little rant or whatever, those two I think are they're young. They have beautiful, beautiful striking, and I think their futures are limitless at this point, man.
So at this point in your career, you and I were talking outside, and you're almost 2,000 fights now at this point.
1,600 corners, yeah.
Fights. How much time do you actually get to spend? Are you teaching classes at this point? Are you still is it like mitts? Or like how much time do you get to spend with fighters? And is it more one-on-one or group?
I used to have like 13, 14-hour days where I'm teaching the beginner Muay Thai, the intermediate Muay Thai, all of these things, or MMA, whatever. And then my goal as a coach is not just to produce good fighters. It's to produce good men and women, good coaches. When I'm dead and gone, I want my name and my legacy to live on through them. That being said, I only train fighters at this point, you know, and the mornings at Main Street are roughly 3 to 4 hour blocks every single morning that they train. I do pads during fight camp because we have about 120 fighters at Main Street. I think 65 on the MMA roster, and the rest are pro boxers. And I work with some boxers as well, especially the bare knuckle guys. But I only have time for pads, and my body can only do so much during fight camp. How do
you balance out as a coach? One of the things that I hear often, and I know you've heard this, you get that new fighter in, and they fucking fall in love with doing pads, and that's all they want to do.
Yeah, and
they literally will skip wrestling class to do pads. They'll skip, like, how do you balance out, like,
dude?
How for a new fighter, let's say a amateur turning pro, how many times should they be doing pads? How much time should they be doing sparring? Like, how do you balance that?
So you have to understand, pads are kind of a new thing. I grew up in the boxing world, like there were no fucking pads, and pads are beneficial. Pads I'll hold for him to where I can feel certain things, you know, feel him, pummel it, whatever. It should be the last thing that you're focused on is in regards to skill development. The skill development is going to come from classroom environment, from drilling, and then sparring. Pads, they're fun. Who doesn't want to crack pads? But when you think about how to truly develop skills, it does not come from pad work. And at the end of the day, if they're not attending class, and you know this, if you're not attending my classes, I don't care if you're in the UFC, I don't care what you pay me. Can you hold for me? No, because you're not above doing class. You're not above drilling. The pads are kind of a bonus. But in regards to skill development,
No, I'm not going to ask Bob to hold pads.
I will hold pads for you any day. Him, no.
You got so many fighters.
Oh, dude, I've held for him, but he misses the fucking pads, dude. Oh, on purpose. On purpose. Hell, Bob smarted off to me. Boom.
Because Bob,
I don't think it's on purpose.
because Bob, in his infinite fucking wisdom, will be out there and be like, "Hey guys, you know what? We need to demonstrate a switch kick. Where's Burmaster?" I'm like,
This is how you don't do one, yeah.
He's like, listen, and then he'll preface it with like, "Listen, we all know you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Just
I'm
try.
Like, I'm like, yeah, dude. Why are you calling me out here? My wife's right. Fuck, she can do it.
That's why Sam can do it. Her switch is better than yours. But no, man, like honestly, pads should be at the end of the list. They look cool. They're fun. And then you also see Instagram pads and you have real pads. There's a big difference. And I think with the popularity of social media, it gets twisted. There's a fine line. You know this. Real pads, 1, 2, step off. 1, 2, 3, step off. 1, 2, kick. You know, it's very simple, basic. But you see pop, all this stuff, and honestly, it's bullshit.
You know,
See the Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
that's what you know.
Touching
That's
the
what
shoulder.
ruined.
And if you watch Floyd box, I mean, dude, Floyd's jab's one of the best ever. You don't see him hitting it on mitts, but he does. You just don't see that. You see the funny stuff, or not the funny, the fancy stuff. One of our coaches was his cut man for years.
How long have you been over at Main Street now?
A little more,
5?
like 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, ever since I got here.
So I see you. Are you teaching classes out there too?
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu is
It's a
Daryl's
hands-off
on me.
affiliate?
Yeah, as we see downtown inside of Main Street. Yeah, and I'm in charge of that.
And he's amazing.
Do you ever think during your fights about using your jiu-jitsu? Because you fucking you have very, very good jiu-jitsu. And not just that, like, you have a sweep that you pull off. You know exactly what I'm
It's the
talking about.
Macario,
right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, the Macario.
I got plenty of sweeps. I always like to play guard, so I develop a lot of sweeps that work in MMA too.
Yeah.
So I got some up in my sleeve.
So my guys have went out to Main Street for years now for the open mat on Sundays, and some of them have been cool enough to have a chance to roll with you a few
The
times.
headquarters, right?
Yeah,
Hands of
yeah.
Racing Sugarland.
Yeah,
on Main
and
Street.
they've been able to roll with you a couple of times, and they're all like, I got to this half guard amount, he just fucking sweat me. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah,
everybody.
dude, that's what he does. Don't go there. I'm like, so it's for someone who's so good at jujitsu. Like, how did you fall in love with just fighting, just striking?
So actually, I've always been a boxer. So I started boxing before jiu-jitsu. I started training jiu-jitsu because I wanted MMA, but I was a striker before. I only did jiu-jitsu because I knew I needed it for MMA. But then I kind of liked it too. I really fell in love. And then I got hurt boxing in a tournament, and it took me almost like a year to recover my hand because of the doctor that I was going to really didn't know how to work with athletes and shit. And I just listened to what he said. I
was
was
in
a
Brazil
kid.
or here?
Yeah, no. I was a kid. I was like 16, and when I came back, I was a blue belt. And I kind of unlearned jiu-jitsu. The blue white belts that I used to play with were like giving me a hard time. I was like, I don't like this shit anymore. I like just, had a hard time like getting my jiu-jitsu going. Like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that anymore. So I spent 8 years as a blue belt, completely avoiding the gi, completely avoiding any jiu-jitsu training, just striking. And I always been afraid of getting to the ground in MMA. Right? That was back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I get here to the U.S. I'm the Brazilian kid. I got a job. It still was a blue belt. 2018. I got a job helping teach jiu-jitsu because I was Brazilian and I was a fighter. So I had to show some jiu-jitsu. I was like, shit, I'm the only Brazilian in a bunch of Americans. I had some jiu-jitsu to show. Then it started coming back to me, right? But I have all this habit, and I'm not I just fucking enjoyed exchanging hands, right? Like boxing. And it took me a long time to get a confidence back in my ground game, and now I do, but I just prefer to strike. I don't like to shoot. I'll take body lock, takedowns all day, but yeah, I just prefer to strike. But I'll probably start doing more so because at black belt, I also learned really well to control people on top instead of just playing guard, which I used to, and didn't get me anywhere in MMA. But I really learned how to control people on top on black belt. Once I got my black belt, I was like, I can't be losing to this lower belts now, right? Like I gotta dominate them instead of just try some fly shit from guard.
Enjoy it.
Ended up drawing or not
Enjoy
even
it while
submitting
you
them.
can, because somewhere around like 44, 45, I started like, you roll with these guys, and I'm like, this fucking blue belt's gonna choke me if I don't like end this roll soon.
Yeah. You know I'm a 73 stripe purple belt,
Yes.
right? And he's actually gonna give me another stripe here pretty soon. But I was funny. I was talking to Domingo Pilarte this morning.
Yeah.
And I showed a position yesterday from Mount. He's like, Coach, your top pressure felt really heavy. I was actually showing Yachty something. And I love jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, dude, as a 50-year-old man, 11 surgeries, it hurts. El arte suave in my ass. Jiu-jitsu hurts. It hurts big time. So rolling, as you get older, man, especially being so beat up, it's very tough.
Yeah, and we do at my school. I have a bunch of assholes. I tell you, you know that I'm an asshole. That's never
You're awesome.
changed. And so there's no art suave, dude. We are smashing your fucking face, moving
sure.
shit around, because my guys want to fight.
Of course.
Right? So our jiu-jitsu, you take us to ADCC, we're going to lose, guys.
Of course.
We're going to fucking lose.
Yeah.
But if you put us in the cage, we're probably going to do okay.
That being said, I was talking to Becca about this actually. And I want, black belch.
We got to get her on the podcast sometime.
Absolutely. I'll definitely get her on here for you guys, man. Maybe, soon. How important is it to you guys? And I'm buzzed, by the way. Thank you.
I was probably about to ask him the same.
How important is it to you guys as instructors, as I feel that everything we do for MMA needs to be MMA specific. Yeah. So if you're getting your jiu-jitsu or your wrestling for the sake of doing jiu-jitsu or for wrestling, I don't feel it is beneficial for your MMA development. There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful if you're doing it sport specific.
Right.
But the way I came up, like I said, it came up under like sauce people.
Right.
And it was everything. You're getting punched in the face all of the time. And I think sometimes those lines, we're talking about pads and lines getting twisted. What are your thoughts on that? Like doing stuff specifically for MMA or doing just like pure jiu-jitsu or pure wrestling and trying to incorporate it in MMA? Do you see more value in one or the other?
1,000% I do. So like I look at Travis Took. Travis Took may be like the best kept secret in Texas
It's amazing.
history of jiu-jitsu.
It's amazing.
Like pure jiu-jitsu, what he does, like IBJJF, what they do, everything. He's absolutely amazing. Look at his students, Jose Alanis, like the way these guys roll, the way they move, they're absolutely fucking amazing. When you take that, if you took just that skill set and put it in the cage, it's not the same because you are, and this isn't to say Travis can't teach fucking MMA fighters. He clearly can.
Oh, for
He
sure.
clearly
Absolutely.
can. But like the passing, the punching, the kicking is completely different. At my school, we do 1 hour a week of gi jiu-jitsu. Sorry guys, we do one a week because I want some white belts to come to the fucking class. The rest of our jiu-jitsu, you're punching as you pass.
It's all nogi.
It's all nogi with an MMA base to it, which is why that's how Jeremy and I everything we believe in. We do our black belt test. You're getting fucking elbows.
It's violent, yeah.
Yeah, it's this is what it is.
That's why it's strong style.
Because 100%. Because
I love it.
it's a fight. It's not a jiu-jitsu match. And so I think if you are going to jiu-jitsu to learn jiu-jitsu
For jiu-jitsu.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to be a fighter,
You have to do specific
you need to
stuff
be
for that.
somewhere
And-
where you are fighting with
Yes.
a purpose.
And that's why I wanted your opinions. I mean, obviously, who you are and where you've been, but I think the same, and I'm not just picking on the grappling arts. Boxing has to be, modified. Your Muay Thai has to be
Everything.
modified. Everything has to be modified for mixed martial arts.
And this takes me back to my favorite quote of all time. And the shout out to Barry Laminack.
Oh, I love you, Barry.
I love that fucking goober. So boxing is the sweet science. We've all heard that forever. It's the sweet science. It is. MMA is the complete science because you have to be good at fucking everything.
Yeah.
In order to do this.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I fucking made that up.
Right.
But he made that term, you son of a bitch.
That's great. And now that you said that, I always tell people like UFC guys, for example, you have to be good at everything, but great at one thing. And I think that makes people like have longevity with their careers or success.
One thing got towards MMA, right? Because like jiu-jitsu is one thing, jiu-jitsu for MMA is a whole completely thing.
For
and
sure.
even striking, like Khalil Roundtree knocking out Gokhan Saki.
Yeah.
You know?
You never
just small gloves. Change
Kickboxing,
completely.
that would never happen.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Habib knocking down Conor.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a takedown threat.
It changes
Small
everything.
gloves.
Yeah. The 4-ounce
fans,
gloves are the
clinch,
it's-
everything.
yeah.
It's a whole other thing.
The same thing goes with like your wrestling when I'm working with our fighters. If you're wrestling in an open mat space, That's not MMA wrestling. That's not.
Yeah, I
Also,
got that case.
shooting for a double or a single without somebody punching, kicking, or kneeing you, that's not MMA wrestling.
Yeah,
like,
for
it's
sure.
very, very different. Finishing a takedown, listen, we all know, you put somebody in a triangle and then have them start punching you in the face, that shit's hard to finish, right? Like, so, like, you have to be training MMA, which fucking circles back to guys like Jackson Glass and Becca Irwin. Holy shit, that's all they've done.
Yeah, and imagine, like I said, 3 or 4 generations from now that have been doing this since they could freaking walk.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be
I
ridiculous.
have two little kids in my gym, and dude,
Who, the Torres?
The Torres boys. They are, I want to say 8 and 10, or maybe 9 and 10. They've been with me for already like 4 or 5 years. All they know is MMA.
Yeah.
All they train is MMA.
That is amazing.
And when you put them on a bag, and if you were to take their body and just triple it, you're like, that's an actual fighter. Like, you watch them move, and like, they're feinting, they're setting up takedowns.
So
You're like-
cool.
So this whole generation, we talked about, remember GSP was the change in MMA.
Sure.
Because he came in, he wasn't a wrestler, but he could fucking wrestle.
Sure.
He could also strike. He could do everything. And he changed how people trained. That whole Rich Franklin, that whole generation changed things. And now you look at these kids come. You got Becca, you got Jackson Glass. There's been all these changes that come, and it's just getting better and better and better. And
Absolutely.
like, the kids
Naturally,
you
yeah.
see at the gym, dude, are going to be.
It's
Only
a young
th-
sport, right?
yeah.
It's a young sport.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks about that, and I've seen it, I've had guys that I've developed from like 12 years old through like the Muay Thai scene and smokers and then amateur fights at 17, all the way to we're at the brink of the UFC.
Yeah.
What sucks is, like a lot of sports, football, baseball, basketball, whatever, when you're doing it through your childhood, you lose your childhood.
Right.
And then they get to the age where they're, Becca's 23. Jackson's what, 17?
16.
16.
Brady turned 17,
So this is the
yeah.
thing, man. Once he starts hitting that certain age, or girls start coming around, or, there's some, there's a kegger, whatever, if they still have keggers. But my point. They didn't get to live this life during high school because they're making weight every week or whatever. So a lot of times they lose that passion.
Yeah, and that's hard to deal with, because like I'm dealing that with not
Camera
as
3 is
much.
drunk.
One of my sons now, like, he's a good fighter, he's learning, but he's also just hit 23, and he's at that. I got a girlfriend, I got a little job, I got some money, and being selfish and all absorbed into yourself for training, which you have to do.
Absolutely.
Like publicly you've had some like experiences when it comes to like relationships stuff. It's fucking hard to be a fighter and maintain any
fun.
relationships.
Make fun.
I mean, like, even I would say that the relationship even helps because, like,
Eric needs a
what
refill.
got me out of fighting for most of my career was partying.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
And bitches.
just being partying and like
Partying
home.
bitches.
And one of the
Having a
Have
girlfriend
you ever
growing up
thought
probably
about?
helped me in my
Have you
career
ever
a lot.
thought about a post-fight interview like Ayin Varela's? Have you ever thought about just like going all into your feelings? Like, the only reason I ever started jiu-jitsu is because of these bitches.
No, I already got that out.
Bob's like, all right, no.
I already got that. I was completely misunderstood too. I completely fucked that up. Made a whole drama for no reason. But
One of my fears, and I think coaches like yourself and Gabe, look, eventually you're going to transition out of the role of like active fighter into, dude, you're going to be, when you decide to be full-time just coaching, fuck, dude.
Stud.
Phenomenal
Stud.
coach.
Like your
Yeah.
knowledge and your presence and what you do. But one of the things that I hope we avoid, so I started boxing at 9. The same drills I did at 9 years old, I still see people doing now with no changes in boxing. Boxing hasn't progressed.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost 40 years from me now, and it hasn't progressed. MMA is only 30 years, whatever. it
Look
is
how much
now.
it's changed.
And it's changed so much. And do you think like we'll continue to see that?
So this is the thing. Boxing is boxing. Okay. What to me, I'm partners with Bobby Benton. Bobby Benton, if you guys don't know boxing, if you don't know who Bobby is, you don't know boxing, period. He had his first world title corner at 18 years old. Main Street was Kronk Gym, Texas, before it was Main Street. And if you don't know who Kronk Gym is, you don't know boxing. That being said, Bobby will do a 30-minute private for you. He's holding pads, not even looking at your hands. He's looking at your feet the whole time. Very old school, very simple with the things that we do. And I pick his brain, him and Aaron Navarro, every day on how to incorporate better boxing. And I grew up my whole life around boxing. It doesn't really change. As long as the principles and the fundamentals are correct, it doesn't really change. what's changing for boxing is the level of athlete that we're seeing. And that's, I think, across the board. Everybody's getting bigger, stronger, faster. It's crazy. MMA, dude, look how much jiu-jitsu has changed. Oh, yeah. Muay Thai doesn't really change, but I think the grappling aspects of MMA are definitely evolving, changing every day. I've cornered UFCs literally by myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm good here. It's big man jiu-jitsu, so I'm okay. But if I'm cornering a featherweight by myself in the UFC, I'm fucked. That's why I need these guys with me.
Do you think that's what keeps MMA so innovative? Because it's not one thing.
I do.
It's boxing, it's kickboxing, it's wrestling. So you get all these changes.
It's really young sport. Like boxing, it's old as shit, right? Yeah. Like all these wrestling, all this martial arts are really old and traditional. Jiu-jitsu is pretty young, and then MMA too. And MMA is 30 years old. Like it may seem like not too young, but man, 30 years old, like when it started, it was like art against art. It wasn't MMA at all. Yeah. Right? It's volatility, what we call it, anything goes. And then it stayed like that for a long time until people were starting to realize they got to mix it up, and then learn all the arts. And people will actually get good at that and mixing it up with GSP.
Yes.
So it's really young sport. It's really evolving daily. Jiu-jitsu too. Jiu-jitsu has so many possibilities. It's infinite, right? So and now with the internet too, the Rotolo brothers, you see, like they don't even need a coach. They need a YouTube and two brothers in the rug, and they're gonna be learning jiu-jitsu all day.
I'm gonna say some old man shit here, and I feel bad for a second. You brought up the Rotolo brothers, so everyone's talking about the Rotolo team that they just did. I watched Estima submit Marcelo Garcia 15 years ago with that exact same fucking choke. It's not a Rotolo team. It's been around forever. Jeff Glover used to fucking do it. I'm getting to this point now where you feel like you've seen.
It's being recycled, everything. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And even with the short history of MMA, like you start seeing people like, well, leg locks are the thing. Dude, I got a book with Helio Gracie teaching a fucking ankle lock, man. Like, what are you talking about?
Shamrock used to be in that.
100%. 100%.
UFC too.
Oh, speaking of leg locks, and what we were talking about earlier about like being sports specific.
Yeah.
Don't you be trying no freaking leg locks in MMA, man. You better be a fucking stud to pull that. You better be able to pull that shit off because you're.
I am glad you brought this up.
There you go.
Because
roll with it.
This was last Monday. I chewed out my entire fucking team. Like the entire team sitting there. Because I watched 4 different, and to their credit, they're all young kids with like 17. Fall back for fucking leg locks during MMA training. And so I broke out the list. Have you seen the list of like how many ankle locks, toe holds, like leg attacks? It's like less than 7% of any submission ever.
80% rear naked choke. 80%.
Yes. Why are you falling back in a hope?
Instagram.
That you get
TikTok.
Instagram.
They're watching jiu-jitsu, right? They're watching jiu-jitsu. They see that.
Dude.
That's on a high. But yeah.
We're definitely old men, but we're right in this
How
aspect.
How frustrating is it for you as a coach to sit there and watch somebody be in a dominant position and give it up to attempt?
So here's the thing. This had literally happened yesterday. Gilbert, he's mounted, doing his thing. He abandons it for an armbar. So I yelled at him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was cool about it, but I yelled like, why would you do that? Now, if there's 20 seconds, whatever, then hit it. But you know damn good and well, like solid black belt here. You're not so much, but solid black belt here. Okay. He mounts me, goes for that armbar. So he abandons position. Yep. We're sweaty. We're strong. We're moving. There's a really good chance I'm going to have a sweat pool out there, get on top of him and punch him in the mouth. And he's infinitely better than me at jiu-jitsu, but in that fighting moment, it is completely different. So abandoning top position or dominant position to go for something with low percentage, high risk is not smart.
And then you lose the round. Yeah. Like happened to me and Michael Murphy.
All right. Well, hey, guys, I just want to take a second. If you feel like you've been wrongly accused of falling back into a leg lock or some other bullshit, heinous crime, you need to give our guy, Danuna Law Firm, a call, 713-257-8889. Criminal offense. They've got free case evaluation. If you got a DWI you need to fight, hit up our boys at DanunaLawFirm.com. Once again, that number is 713-257-8889. Put it in your phone now. Save it for when you do need it. If you don't need it right now, crew Bob, I defer back to you,
Dude, that
sir.
was seamless. No, yes, I bow down to you. That was amazing.
Hey, we had you booked for this card that just passed?
Yeah.
And you had what, a shoulder injury?
Wrist.
How's that going?
Yeah, I was hoping you're not upset at me for pulling out that, but yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard the last 3-4 weeks since I pulled out of the fight, and it's been getting worse. It's now kind of feeling like it's getting better. I completely stopped like using my head for anything, even like cooking and eating. I got to stop using. It's my right hand that I use for everything, but it was just like complete dog shit. So
we
yeah,
might
it
not
was-
see you back.
That's why I told you, man. Like, he's one of the only fighters that I've ever had where I'm like, talk to Eric, because I trust him. Like, they're all gonna be hard fights.
There'll never be a time that he pulls out that I'm like, oh.
No,
he's
for
holy
sure.
shit.
But I'm like, next time, just call me first because he's insane, and you know he's insane, and I mean that in the best way possible.
But
You
I
know.
go through you. I go
Ah,
through you. I talk to
he
him
does go
directly,
through me.
but I'll let you know.
But man, it's been hard for him. Any fighter pulling from a fight
We had you
sucks.
too.
Damian Rodriguez,
What is it?
something, Colorado guy, I think.
Oh yeah.
It was a good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going to be a banger.
No, Darian Robinson.
Yes.
Darren
Yes.
Darian Robinson.
Yes.
There you go.
We had him.
But no, man,
Okay.
he you know, he's a true fighter. He's a gentleman, and he takes those things to heart. Pulling from a fight for any of our
And
guys.
not being able to train, that's really been really hard for me to stay disciplined and
Yeah.
you know, not I had just recently like stopped drinking because I was enjoying it, like not I don't know, from 17 up to 5
Yesterday?
months ago. I drank like just like every single weekend, you know. And more moderately
wrong with that.
once I started taking my career seriously,
Rich
you know,
drinks every day.
it was
It's rich though, bro.
Once I started taking my career more seriously, once I moved here, get to take care of myself, I'm like, man, I want to take this fighting thing like a lot longer. I really took it easy, but before that, I was like heavy drinking.
Well, I see like now, like
Thursday
you'll be
to Sunday.
posting your meals and you meal prep and you eat clean and you do a lot of this shit to stay.
man, I
fucking
sat in
shredded,
the.
man. That's hard. Like,
And so curiously enough, my I said that on the Space City Collective podcast too. I told the guys there like my motivation to clean my diet completely was because I wanted to drink. Like I wanted to have this for no seriously.
No, he's being for real.
And it worked.
That's dedication.
And it worked. Like
so you were able to drink.
Yeah, I see junk food as a drug, right?
eating
Alcohol
clean.
is a drug.
That's why
Junk
Eric is
food
so
a drug.
keto.
I'm like, I'm not using drugs just to feel a taste in my mouth. I'm gonna
Yes,
eat completely
please.
clean. On the weekend, I drink a little bit and lead all zeros out.
Hey,
Smart man.
this
And I
moment
maintained
of
it like that for a long time.
this moment of non-sobriety is
This moment of alcoholism brought to you by Howlerhead whiskey.
Oh, they
Live Oak
actually
vodka.
just reposted my story or reshared it. I'm like, thank you guys.
Hey, so you've led quite a bit of your life in the last year, like really publicly. Like you've kind of opened up and put out heartbreak. You've put out good things, bad things. You know, how's that been for you? Like that's not easy, man. To like talk
Thank
about
you,
your
brother.
personal shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard for me. I don't feel like I've always kind of had this thing like of not having secrets. I feel like if I have to lie about something or hide it, I'm ashamed of it, and I probably shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So I keep everything very public.
Oh,
so
me and Rich keep secrets.
Yeah, we
so-
keep secrets all the time.
Ooh, hey, that did not
I
sound
like
good,
not
guy.
to.
Typical married couple.
Yeah,
Is that for
right.
a child? Who are you playing this for?
My shot.
That's 2 ounces, maybe 3.
That's a child story. My daughter drank that this morning before going to this fucking school.
What,
So, yeah,
what kind
I
of
think I got
secrets are you and
nothing
Rich
to hide,
keeping, man?
So that's been relatively new, man. And I will say, it's been cool to see. It's been cool to see you kind of open up your personality and like your life.
Appreciate it.
I really thought it was cool when you talking about like the foods and stuff that you eat. And I didn't do any of that, by the way. Like, none of that. Like, I'm watching.
I can tell.
Thank you. I'm sitting there like eating chicken wings. I'm like, oh yeah, Paul.
So let me tell you this: the guy drinking Howlerhead and Sprite, or is that Sprite Zero?
Yeah, we tried.
Well, there. Oh no, it's just
sugar in
Sprite.
that one,
Fuck.
baby.
That's why I
That's
feel
the
so
real
good.
deal.
But so I'm approaching 50. This was in February, March, and I'm like, I get on the scale and I'm like, holy shit. This is not what as we don't fight. Like, who checks your weight?
Right, yeah.
My man, I need to do better. So I got with him, asked him a few questions. So from maybe March to May, 30 pounds. Now I'm down like 35. And it was all him. He's got his own nutrition stuff now. He's with Mike Dolce. Like, I have to say, guys, and I still have a long way to go, but literally, you're a piece of shit. I will smack you in the mouth.
Bob's feeling
So,
good.
yeah. So,
Hell yeah.
my point
Howlerhead
is,
whiskey
one
for the win.
conversation with him was the catalyst to kind of change things. He's a very smart guy. So if you have a nutritional questions,
We've
hit
seen
him
a
up.
lot
And the content, you like the
different-
content too, the tough love.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
we've seen a lot of
Oh, I
different
told him, I was like, dude, if I'm
variations.
fat piece of shit, tell him I'm fat piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like for sure. There's no
Tough love
feelings
is love
hurt.
too.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
so
See, this is why I don't hire Gabe, because I don't need him.
Oh,
calling
he
me
will
and be
call
like-
you.
He'd be like, oh, did you eat all the fucking ice cream before you walked out on the stage?
dude, he makes amazing fucking ice cream. And I'm like, and it's like, dude, no, it's
that's
legit, dude. Like ton of protein or whatever, which I know you love your protein.
Hey, listen,
so yeah.
There's not a worse feeling.
I got that, bud.
Than like your wife walking by going, "Is that what size is that shirt, bitch? What do you mean? What size is this shirt?" She's like, "No, you look great." I'm like,
How many X's are in that shirt, right? All the X's and Texas in that one.
Rich, I dislike you more and more every year, dude. How long have you been in my life?
Fucking, it feels like forever, man.
I mean, I used to love you, and I don't so much anymore.
Yeah, I've seen so many iterations of Bob. I've seen
The general, Crew
I've seen
Bob,
Fat Bob.
Fat Bob, and now kind of Fat Bob.
There was Euro Bob.
Well, no, I got the beard coming back now. So, like, you know, I'm in pictures. They're like, who's that old Russian guy?
Yeah.
You know, with a fucking beard, you know? So,
I don't know if I've seen one of those.
oh, dude. And I'm also, but I've always been Cowboy Bob. I just didn't show you
Yeah,
guys a lot.
that's true,
So, dude,
man.
I come from a family of rural motherfuckers, dude. Rural. And I just started embracing that again. But that's who I am. Cowboy Bob.
Hell yeah. Shout out Tomball, Texas, baby.
Yeah.
Hey man, we all love to see it. This weekend, UFC 304 goes down. We got some experts on our panel here today. We're gonna get some fucking talk. We're gonna talk about this bitch here. So let's see. Main event. Who you got? Who you got in the main event? We got-
Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, Decision Mania.
Okay.
Coming up, man.
Let's start with Crew Bob.
All right.
Who you got in this fight and why?
I'm going to go with Leon. Okay. There's certain things that you do when you're fighting a strong wrestler, okay, or grappler. And I think Leon does those things are conceptually exceptionally well. And I think he's going to finish him later in the fight.
Why you gotta fuck with my screen?
In there.
dog? Up close titties.
Eric
on my
Garcia
screen.
for the
Oh, I
win
want to
right
see
there.
titties. I want to see boobs.
Hey, so hey, Bob, how do you think that one goes? Are we going to get a decision out
No,
of this
he's
one?
gonna. I think he's gonna finish him 4 or 5.
In their last combined, like over 20 fights, they each have like 2 finishes.
Yeah, I just
bunch of decisions.
I think
That's
because
kind
they
of the
fought
top.
before, Leon's going to be very comfortable. I see a big head kick coming, but before that, he needs to throw volume with the hands, lateral footwork, a lot of movement. I think people forget as much of a stud as Bilal is. He's a stud. Leon can counter wrestle really well. I mean, he took down Colby. He can offensively wrestle as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see him putting some hands together and possibly finishing that fight. Gabe, what do you think?
Well, honestly, I don't keep up with the UFC too much.
All right, this is going to be a great take.
but I'll tell you Leon, but I'll think we'll have a decision.
Who you got in this
I
fight?
would think Leon. I think so.
You guys.
I'm taking Leon too.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I got to go with Leon because basically, if you look at Bilal, he's like Kamaru light. You know, like
It's a good way to say it, yeah.
He's less athletic, less of a good wrestler. Everything that Kamaru is out fucking standing in, he's good at. Like he's good at it. He's not outstanding. And Leon did take down fucking Kamaru.
Yeah.
And mount him. I have no reason to pick fucking anybody but Leon Edwards.
For sure.
Who you got?
Other than the fact that he's the underdog in those, I'm going Bilal Muhammad just to be different
just to
from
be
you
different.
assholes.
Fuck it. Yeah.
We're not going to be unanimous across the board. I'm going Bilal Muhammad.
Leon, but
There you go.
what's the gambling odds right now?
What's the gambling odds?
He's a slight favorite. I don't think
We
it's,
don't do
We
gambling.
don't do gambling. We don't
It's
have a
illegal in
reason
Texas.
sponsor.
What is that, dude?
God dang, man.
God damn it! What is the gambling?
I'm just using it as
Hey,
reference.
Get
as
us a
reference.
gambling sponsor, and then we'll give you the odds, okay?
All right.
All right, co-main event.
Co-main
We got,
event.
Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades, the rematch, interim title on the line.
Interim title, man. John Attic had an interesting take. He says, if Tom Aspinall defends this belt again, to him, it's an undisputed title because it's been like over a year since John Jones has fought. So, I get that all. Man, I think Aspinall takes this one.
Aspinall. Yes.
Aspinall.
Yes. Definitely.
Aspinall.
Aspinall.
And I tend to agree with John Attic, by the way.
Listen, as a spokesman for the black people,
The black delegation would like
we're already 1-0 against Aspinall.
Okay, 15-second fight. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
With that being said, fucking Tom Aspinall is amazing.
Yeah, man.
That and he's not even 30 yet. He is right now. You look at John Jones and Stipe. That is a legacy fight. That's a legacy fight. John has earned the right.
Legacy?
The real legacy. John has earned the right, no matter how you feel about John, do what the fuck he wants to do with this.
John is a GOAT.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Hands down.
So let him go fight the guy who has been the best heavyweight of all time. And if he never fights Tom Aspinall, we lose nothing, man. We got Tom Aspinall now.
Yeah.
John, I don't need to see John lose or win against Tom Aspinall.
The thing is with somebody like Curtis, he could not take Derek down. We had 2 training camps for that one. First time he tested positive for COVID. So 2 full camps of working for Curtis. He was beating Derek in the striking exchanges. Clearly, he could not take Derek down. Curtis is cool with standing and trading with you. And I think his striking is underrated.
Right.
Where I think Derek, Francis, Sergey have more pop than Tom. Tom is fast and he chains or he puts his combos together really well. And if Curtis is cool staying in the pocket and trading with him, I think it's going to end badly for Curtis.
Yeah, man, that knockout for Derek of Curtis.
Him with that uppercut.
That is, to me, like, I know we look back at, like, probably the Volkov is probably, like, one of the
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
You're riling him up at the fucking end. We got,
14
like,
seconds.
Everything, like,
Hail Mary.
It's probably his greatest on paper finish.
I agree.
But everything you know about the fight, and I hate to use the term deficiencies. If you're gonna try and beat Derek, you want to try and grab him, hold him down. Try. That's a try. That's a try. That's not a definite.
Yeah, DC got up on him, and
let me just stand up.
He got up on DC. Nobody's held him down. Nobody's held him down.
So the thought process is, maybe we can wear him out. I guess maybe. That shot was a great shot. And Derek timed that so perfectly.
And dude, I never say this because a lot of times, thank you, Lord. Because historically we've been losing and pop, he'll crack. Like I said, the most effective striker. But this is one thing that I can say. It was me, Derek, Joe Murphy. We trained that for 2 full fight camps. Matching the level of the head, working the uppercut, using those feints. If it had gone further, we're looking for a big knee. But when he did it, if you listen to the corner, he is listening to what was in the apex.
Yeah.
I can say this. Hoffa's last knockout, I legit thought that James Vick was going to die. I was really worried.
Yeah, it was amazing.
With Curtis as well, I was honestly really worried.
For a while,
the sounds that were coming out of that man. This is in the apex. This is like right after lockdown.
50 people in the audience.
It was, it was so scary. And I am not a fan of Curtis. He fucked with Derek for almost 4 years, just poking at him. And if you ever want to get knocked out, piss off Derek Lewis. Pick on him, mess with him. But I felt horrible. I mean, it was bad. I thought he was legit going to die.
Yeah, so he got stiff right away, and then he took a couple more.
I think it was 3 or 4
heavyweight
more.
shit.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis.
Derek has had some scary shit to do to other people.
Yeah.
I just looked up again to see if I remember what year it was. His first fight, Nick Mitchell.
Oh, God.
Do you he put? I remember
Spirit Squad, Nick Mitchell.
I was texting, bro.
exactly
I'm not kidding. I was texting Tony Orozco because this was before I was in the picture. I was texting Tony what I was seeing. Well, this was at the Verizon Wireless Theater. I remember vividly, and I just remember thinking this kid is freaking special, man.
So
that was for IXFA.
No, that was for Saul.
WG.
Oh, it wasn't for Saul?
That was in Pasadena then.
Oh,
Master P.
Yes.
It was called Worldwide Gladiator.
Are we trying to promote
right.
defunct MMA
Holy
promotions now? Who
shit.
cares, man?
I thought that's right.
It was in Pasadena.
No.
I was there. Oh my God.
So
that was his first pro fight.
They had it there, and then Urban Rumble. They used to do fights as well.
Same night, Sam Hoger fought Jonathan Iron.
Yeah, he walked around naked at weigh-ins the whole time.
Yes. But I was sitting there.
It's one way to get in your opponent's head.
With fucking bless his little Tony, man, talking, and he was telling me about. He's like, this fucking kid Derek is y'all don't understand.
Tony Orozco.
Tony.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, you look at Nick Mitchell. He looked like.
He was the part.
He looked like a male cheerleader.
He fit the role. Yeah.
Yeah. Jacked. I think he had tap out tattooed on him.
He was already wrestling, right? Or
Affliction across the shoulders.
He was done wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He was segueing from WWE into MMA.
It's the shit.
And I remember watching this young fucking Derek Lewis come down there and beat the dog snot out of this guy.
Yeah.
To the point to where when they were putting him in the ambulance, because he went straight to an ambulance, I was back there, and he was making sounds still.
Yeah.
because like everything was destroyed inside his body.
Let me tell you this, man. Like, Tony did an amazing job with Derek. Whatever happened, and Tony, God rest his soul. Then I got Derek. Dude, God made that. Whatever you believe, like Derek was made to knock people out. Like that is something that can't be taught. I know heavyweights really well. I don't, other than Mick Maynard, I don't know that there's anybody in this city that knows heavyweights as much because we've been there, done that. And Derek, he has that intangible that a lot of heavyweights are just missing. They just, I don't see it in them. I just don't see it in them.
I hope, and maybe you're not doing it now, but at some point you're going to have to step back and realize that, like, as a coach, you took his blessings and turned those into some abilities.
Yeah, I thank you for that. And people have told me that, and you see it. Yeah. But dude, when I first got Derek, if you look at our strikers or our fighters, even at an amateur level, technically they're all pretty solid. Derek, it's just been these baby steps, right? And when I first got him, I tried really hard. These are old 4-ounce days. I tried really hard to make him look and move like everybody else. I've had Greg Jackson, coaches from Top Team, Joe Rogan, like, you saved his career. If I would have tried to change him, which I was trying to do until I realized, hey, this isn't working, I got to let him be him, I would have ruined him. He wouldn't be the knockout king now. Like I said, these are God-given abilities. I've tried my best to give him little by little. The jump knee, I have to say, I did teach him that. It took 6 years to land it.
It's all Bob Perez.
But we did it. We did
Flying
it.
switch.
That's some Eric Garcia shit. I don't know where the fuck he got that from. Dude, go back and watch those. I'm not blaming Eric.
He does that every show.
Why he doesn't? You know why he does? He's a nervous kicker.
Yeah.
He comes out. He's like, I'm nervous. I'm gonna kick. Yeah. But if he lands one, you're fucking dead. But that being said, you hear me? No, Derek. Nope. It's like get back on your hands.
You working with him has been a good example for me just as a coach. I've got guys who like, look, we have a system. This is our system.
Yeah.
And we all talk about, your hand should be fucking here. You should be feinting. You should be moving. You roll to this side. You pull to the... Like, okay, we all understand the basics of fighting.
Sure.
And then I had to learn to accept that Gabe's different than Diego.
Dude, that's why you're a really good coach.
And, like,
you have to do that.
So, like, I had this kid... I'll give Damian Nunes. I'll give him a shout out now because we don't teach any spinny shit at our gym at all. You do not do spinny shit at our gym.
I really don't either. Other than a reverse elbow, I don't do that.
This fucking kid in the same sequence throws a spinning heel kick into a tornado kick, and fucking Eric looks at me and goes, "Y'all teaching tornado kicks?" I'm like,
I can't do that shit.
I'm just letting them do it at this point.
And that makes you a good coach.
Me, man.
The thing is, man, you have to know if you see a
strong
gym,
style double kick.
the double monkey punch or some shit. Yeah. If you see fighters from a gym that all look the same, cookie cutter, and it's beautiful. It's a huge testament to that coach in that they can teach you run. You do not stay at that because no fighter is the same and no fighter should move the same. So like I said, it's a testament to that coach where obviously they can instruct. Yeah. But if a guy or if guys that are built as differently or with the different abilities that we have all fight the same, very bad.
This is where I wish we were a pro wrestling podcast because, dude, they come out of that performance center and they all wrestle the same. Y'all hit the ropes the same. It's like, dude, you've got to give some individuality.
Their only difference thing is like their promo. Hopefully, at some point.
The promo, and they have a finishing move.
Hey, speaking of promos, we got no longer Bobby, but King.
Yeah, they've still got him listed as Bobby here. This is King Green taking on Patty Pimblett.
You go first, Rich. Come on.
Man, listen.
Bobby Green.
Go ahead and tell him why Bobby Green's going to win.
I'm going to go with Bobby Green.
Same.
Because King Green... I can't believe that Patty Pimblett trained yet. Like, I watched Patty, and as a coach, I sit back, I see so many deficiencies.
We asked for Patty a couple times for Hoffa.
I'm sure you fucking did.
Yeah.
Like, you watch him, he's very beatable. He's a good fighter. He is not a great fighter yet. I think Bobby Green is on the downside of his career.
Sure. I think he's, 37, 38 now?
He's closer to the end.
But he should be able to beat Patty Pimblett. I'm taking Bobby Green. Who you got?
I got Bobby as well. I think he's the cleaner boxer. I think Patty's best or the clearest path to victory for him is to look for a sub because Patty's jiu-jitsu is great, and he's not Islam. So like taking Bobby down is a different story, but I think Bobby's got the cleaner boxing. His tempo, his rhythm is a little bit broken or a little bit different. And I think fighting at home, Patty's going to be like, let's go. And I think he's going to get outpointed.
I think a younger Tony Ferguson would have beat Patty.
Oh, 100%. Young Tony was a freaking monster, bro.
Fucking everybody, maybe even Khabib.
Speaking of that, did you watch Khabib's first fight? Go back and watch it. I'm just saying, Pineda debuted that day. Yeah. Pineda debuted that same day. It was January 20th, 2012.
With T-Bow?
Yeah.
Glitz and T-Bow?
I thought he lost that fight. I'm just saying, we'll go back to what we're talking about, but I'm just saying, go back and watch
The
it.
T-Bow fight, I did think he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack.
That's one of the guys where I got interested in weight cutting, seeing Chibao, Thiago Pitbull, Thiago Alves. Like, how
do they do that?
it?
Yeah.
I want to do that shit too.
Fucking shredded 50.
You know the first guy who got me interested in figuring out weight cutting was Sean Shirk.
Sean Shirk.
That was another one. That was another one.
That was before
PEDs.
the drug testing.
PEDs,
It was.
That was before you saw it.
Why do you mention that?
But still gotta make weight. Still gotta
How
make
did
Why
weight.
do you feel it necessary to mention that?
Just
he was also one of the, we talk about like guys now.
We just find at
He was one of
55
the
though,
first
right?
guys. That,
55, yeah.
One of the first guys we saw doing the snorkel and running. And like,
Yeah.
he was one of the first guys we saw. Doing
Yeah.
That training, man.
Yeah.
Training,
Dude,
yeah.
Tony Orozco, we're talking about him earlier. God rest his soul. Love you, brother. Would butcher names. And for the longest time, just called him Sean Shrek.
Yeah.
Just so you know, he would call him Sean Shrek.
On this card, we got Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Gregory Rodriguez. I don't care. Is anybody? No,
I like Leroy. I like Leroy. That's Leroy.
I'll give Gregory.
I'm going with Leroy.
I'll give Gregory Rodriguez some love. He was on the Fight Pass invitation.
Rodriguez.
He's a monster.
Him and Cody Steele ended up in the finals.
That's right. They did.
One.
We should have won that. And then rounding out, we got Arnold Allen taking on Giga. I don't know, and that's
Chikadze.
a fucking good fight. That's a good fight.
Yeah, it looks like it go 19-3 versus
I think I'm
15-3.
gonna go with Giga.
It's a great fight to open with on the main card.
Who you got?
Man, I'll go. Since you went Giga,
I went
I'm
Giga.
going Arnold Allen.
I just want to talk about my boy Daniel the Pit Pineda.
Big Pit.
Yeah, I'm excited more for the prelims.
I got to get there. It's the next fight that
Give a
gets.
fuck about that.
All right, the fight that everybody cares about, the people's main event. We got some bum named Nathaniel Woods going to get beat up by Daniel Pineda. Guys, how do you think this fight's going to go? Is anybody going to go against Pineda?
So, no. I'm going with
Fucking
Pitt.
chance.
That-
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Pitt all day,
I know
but I
better
talked
than
to
that.
Chico about it. Chico's out there with him right now.
I bet
and
you
when he
do.
got the fight, I gave my
you
2 cents
pervert.
on it, and it's a very hard fight. It's a very hard fight. What is a stud, man? If Pitt is trained properly, and like I said, I don't know what his training's like, these days, but if he's trained properly and if he shows up, he can absolutely win this fight. But it is a tall order.
Let me make sure I say this correctly. You've been around Dana probably longer than
Anybody.
There's a handful of people who've been around as long as you.
Mm-hmm.
Has he really ever had? Hey, here's a full fucking camp, no distractions, no family, no work. Like it seems like he's always had to have balance: the gym, the work, the life.
We were together for 33 fights.
Yeah.
33 fights we were together. I started him in 05. He was my first to get in the UFC, like my day one. And what Pitt is prone to are injuries.
Yes.
Because he trains when he trains, like interrupting fight camps, my ankle, he used to have major elbow issues that came from the bicep. That dude fights every day. I don't care what you say. Hey, Pitt, we're just going to do this today. Or it's like, no, I'm fighting. He fights every day. I don't know the caliber of, I don't know who he's moving with right now. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing right now. But if he's in shape and his head is right, he can absolutely finish this guy.
He's got a very young team around him right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like the Michael Aswells, the Josh Vans,
Mm-hmm.
the Justice Torres.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a young group around him where he is like Daniel Pineda. Whatever room he walks into, he's the fucking alpha.
But this is the thing. If you're always the alpha, you have to lose rounds in the gym.
Yeah.
You have to lose rounds in the gym. So if you're the big swinging dick in the gym and you're beating everybody,
gotta find another
where's
gym.
the true benefit there?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have to leave the gym. Yeah, Hoffa's probably his toughest guy. But
If you're the smartest guy at the table, you got to find another table, though. I get what you're saying. I get
that's
where
the
you're going
thing.
with that.
Bring people in or send him somewhere. I remember when we were together, I tried so hard to get him out to Jackson's or Top Team, whatever, at least half the camp. But Pitt is Pitt, and he likes to be at home. But that's the thing, just honest advice to young fighters. If you are the best guy in the room, you need You need to make some changes, man. And I'm not saying leave, but yeah, it's Hoffa.
Yeah,
and Hoffa's a freak, dude.
Those two guys.
Hoffa's a freak.
Being across
It's scary.
of the mats with those guys.
Yeah, scary.
Sparring and shit.
I think that's where people have a hard time balancing and understanding the distinction between leaving your home gym and bringing in some talent and cross training.
Bro, you don't have to. That's the thing, man. This isn't 1999. You cross train and loyalty. No, it's evolved so much. Yeah. And as a coach, you know this. You have to be confident and open-minded. If I can, we talk about this all the time. If I can only help you so much, I have to either bring people in or send you somewhere else. Yes. My job as head coach is to put the right people in your lives, okay? I'm his coach. Bro, he'll choke me out any day he wants to. Yep. But my talents need to be different than his. You see what I'm saying? So 100%. These coaches really have to open their minds. What's best? It's not the Bob show. It's the Gabe show or the Eric show, whoever's fighting. It's not about the fighter or being upset to ask for help. Everybody needs help, period.
That's where I think it's hard for a coach. You have to humble yourself and know your deficiencies.
Absolutely.
Because no matter how amazing you are, listen, I hold Greg Jackson, Pat Miletich at like,
as you should.
I was very lucky to train with them and be coached by them in the early 2000s and throughout, like, to be there during those times.
Absolutely.
And like, they have deficiencies.
Sure, dude, we're human.
And for you to sit there and like,
I know everything.
For me, like, I look at my fighters and I go, okay, I'm not the best coach for this. Who do I know that can help them with that?
That's very important, man. And honestly, I learn every day. I swear I learn, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I have one of the best boxing minds in the world with me at the gym. I have some of the best Muay Thai in the world it's a phone call away, whatever. I know where I lack. And that's why, like, in the corner, dude, I want a black belt with me or a good wrestler with me. Like, it's very important. Black belt, faz preta.
Brown guy.
I honestly prefer that, just so you know.
Before we get on to this next part, guys, make sure you guys go to our OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/FuryFighting. Behind the scenes footage, some little bit of content. You can see Gabe Macarios dick, who knows? But you go to onlyfans.com/FuryFighting. Is that a no? Oh,
no promises.
There's no promises.
No promises, but you never know.
We don't know whose dick that is.
Oh my gosh!
All right, hey,
Gabriel Girth Macario.
So yesterday they announced some changes to the unified rules.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was
the 12 to 6.
Oh yeah, the 12 to 6.
Yeah.
12 to 6 in the ground.
In the ground, yeah.
I really, really like these changes.
Absolutely,
that's great.
It's amazing.
That's what we all needed, right? Everybody knew. It's like weed being illegal.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't want to fuck with it, just not to raise too much controversy. But everybody knew.
Everybody wants to remove that John Jones lost.
It's never made sense to me.
Everybody knows.
This is not cool.
Right.
But I can do this and knee you in the head as hard as I possibly.
Or you can do this
exact
and it's
same
okay.
shit. So it was time. It was time.
Exactly.
You beat 11.
I think there needs to be a lot of reform in general with the commissions and others. There needs to be reform.
I can sit here and generate all this force, no problem.
That's a pretty good elbow.
But if I do this,
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my God, you bastard!
I'm gonna kill him.
That's illegal.
So here's the question you brought up.
What stands out to you with this?
With this, just jerking.
Bro, fired him,
John
man, bro.
Jones came out and said
He wants
They
to
overturn it.
always undefeated.
Overturn
They
it.
should overturn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that?
No, I don't.
Of course not. I mean,
I
it was
don't.
illegal at the time. If
It has to be the rule set. Yeah.
Oh man!
To me,
Maybe we change to a no
It
contest.
has to
I don't
be
say
the rule set
you
every
overturn
time.
it.
Of course.
I don't say you overturn it, but maybe it's a no contest
to have
now.
that L on his record because of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he's still the GOAT. He's still the GOAT.
Yeah, hands down.
Nobody
Nobody
He's like, fuck.
with a
And I
brain
get
can
that.
argue that.
I get that.
Nobody
I
with a
don't
brain.
agree.
Nobody cares about
Can I do the
laws
same thing with
anyways.
crimes? And I legit don't know.
Hey, exactly.
Should it?
The
then-
weed comes again.
If that's true, then do we go back and retroactively take away the suspensions for the amount of TRT or weed
Boom.
that people were busted
Boom.
for and change those?
See? Yeah.
Are we
Because
trying to
now-
right all the wrongs?
Yeah, man.
Right,
Listen,
yeah, there's no-
if
so
it
no.
was illegal during the time that you were fighting, you broke the rule.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the laws. Everybody knows it was a
No
win.
one
Everybody
gives a
saw that
yeah.
he destroyed the
Dude,
guy.
listen,
Everybody
you-
has him as the goal.
Matt Hamill stopped you with his forehead from fucking elbow.
Everybody knows he won that fight. You know, it just, they were illegal shots, you know.
Yeah, they were, the whole. I really hope they don't change it because that opens up too many doors. That opens up. Way
It
too many
sets a
doors.
precedent. You don't want to open that Pandora's box, man.
What do you think of the grounded opponent?
I like it. I like the fact that you have to commit to the whole knee down.
Good.
If you just put your hand down, I'm gonna knee you in the.
I agree.
Face.
I
You should
agree.
take the knee, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I.
So then you look at Aljo and Marab.
Yes.
Oh no, was it Marab?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Same shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Young,
It was
yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
It was Peter. I'm sorry.
There's
It was
plenty of
Peter.
examples.
It was Peter. Yeah.
There's plenty
Same
of
shit.
examples.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's. You're right. It would change things.
Are we going to right all the injustices in MMA because of the rule
That's the
change?
thing. I think it
goddamn,
has
you
to
open
be-
a door that I don't know that you want to do that.
I agree. I agree.
definitely-
But I like the rule changes.
I do like the rule changes. There's a few others I wish they would come through with.
Fish hooking,
I'd be fine with that.
eye poking,
Fine with it.
Yeah,
Roll
eye
tips,
gouges. Rick
fair.
wants
Nut
the eye
shots.
gouge legalized.
I think we should go knee on the ground.
to the head.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough. That is pretty rough.
Hey,
Yeah.
And this is this is why.
Protect your fucking head.
Yeah.
boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That.
Exactly. Because
Hands on the
remember,
ground.
when this was all started, it's a fight. Who's the best fighter?
Valetudo.
Yes, man. Like. Oh no, we're on the ground. Don't knee me in my face. No, bitch, I'm gonna knee you in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Because it's there. If I can hit it, I'm gonna hit it.
No, I understand.
So I would like them to change that rule.
Nobody died of pride.
All right, fuck it. Hey, let's go back. Let's
And
just,
Pride had no elbows. Remember?
Let's
There was
eliminate
no
weight
elbows.
classes.
But you can
Yeah, you can soccer. You can Vanderlei somebody in the fucking stands.
Derek Lewis kick me in the fucking face.
I want him to.
He probably does. He
Yeah.
can't knee me on the ground. Come on, man. What's this?
You just fall down like, haha. You can't. There come the big fucking lunch boxes. Yeah.
In order for MMA to get sanctioned in a lot of these states, they had to implement these kind of rules because you had a lot of politicians making decisions on things they had no fucking idea what they were talking about.
Senator John McCain, if you think about
that's
that.
a prime
So
example.
do you realize that he was married to a Budweiser girl?
Yes.
Budweiser, biggest sponsor in boxing. Of course, he's going to be the biggest opponent of the legalization of mixed martial arts. Yeah.
Are we going there?
Let's go.
Are we going?
Let's go.
I love the fact that they're changing some rules. I do find it kind of funny that arbitrarily we decided that it was 5-5s to be a title fight. Who do you have to fight for 25 fucking minutes?
That's a long time. That's a long time. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Or main
man.
event. No.
Well, we have to. Okay.
Yeah, I fuck with that for sure.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 25 minutes is a long
It's a long time. Yeah.
If you want to be a champ.
Yeah, man.
Gotta earn your keep.
It's one of, who decided that 5 minutes is the number? Why couldn't it be 3? Boxing.
Well, that post I sent you said 4 rounds main event.
Yeah, it did.
All right, hey, let's do three. Let's do 3 10-minute rounds.
I mean, I love Pride. I love
Oh,
TDLR.
God.
And
Let's
fucking
be clear.
round.
So TDLR has always told me we could do one 15-minute round if I wanted to, or 3 5s, or a 10 and a 5.
It's
Try to keep it at
TDLR.
15 minutes, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's
How would you feel if they came and said, "Hey, we're
doing
going to do
15
one
minute
15-minute round"?
That's
Let's
pretty
go.
good. Yeah, it's a fight. Now it's a fight.
That's
Yeah.
a fight.
that's a
I
real
do
fight.
like.
And I mean, it's a little away from the sport that we're used to. It may getting a little getting used to, but now it's more real.
I do like.
We can do our team event.
Dude, I kind of like it, man.
And you lose.
I didn't know that.
Try it. You should try it. Be the first.
Be
the first.
You set us apart. I did not know that. I
One
like it.
15-minute round.
Who would you pick?
I can
What
tell
weight
you-
class?
We
Who-
know
who-
right now.
I
I mean,
need
you
that
want us to
belt.
tell you?
Tell
We
me.
know right
I
now.
need that belt. I was supposed
We
to
know
get
right
that belt.
now.
Yeah, we were talking about. Did you watch Alfred Walker and Loham?
No.
You should.
I saw that you lost that.
Loham
All right,
was your
so
last fight, right?
so our idea was Gabe versus Alfred Walker.
Let's go.
145 TMF.
Alfred
belt.
Walker.
15-minute
knocked him out.
one.
115.
Let's go.
round.
Let's go.
15-minute round.
I don't know if
Let's go.
Alfred
We should
was-
absolutely do
I don't
that.
know. I'm a mess with him.
I don't even-
Alfred,
Alfred's
what's
Alfred's
up?
a gangster too. Like just as much as you were.
Let's
like,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
Hey,
might.
Let's call him on the air.
For the TM Alpha, it must be a
He's
gangster.
37 years old.
That's no, dude. That's amazing.
Like I call him a prospect killer.
Well,
at
dude,
this
that's
point.
that's what
Yeah.
we want, man. Like, let him fight for 15 minutes. That's amazing.
He went to LFA and he beat Landry
He beat
Ward.
Landry Ward.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
And now he just came over here and main evented with Loham and he fucking knocked him out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's go.
2025 vouch for it. TMF
You got
belt.
started off in January.
That's it.
TMF belt.
So what is the T for?
Toughest.
Toughest. Oh,
You don't remember that?
Do you know what the
I'm
M,
just
do you know what the M is for?
Titties. It's titties, motherfucker. Titties, motherfucker.
Titties.
oh
Listen,
man.
everybody likes titties.
Titties are great. They're
Diego,
great.
I know you're trainers, but like you like titties.
Right?
Dude, that isn't. Do you know how weird that sounds? Fury 100.
You guys have a date yet?
Coming up on it.
And listen,
It's gonna
That's
be
it.
early
Fury
January.
100. Man, I
Holy,
wanna be on
there.
that,
That's
man.
2025, bro.
I want to be on that.
Fury 100's coming up. We have to make sure this. It's got to be here.
Yeah.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
Can I get an
It's gotta
award
be
like Grayest
Houston.
Beard Award or some shit like that?
Toyota
you know?
Center.
You're on.
Ooh, yeah.
You're on the no.
Hey,
You ain't making any money on that one.
We can do the half bowl setup. We'll put up a curtain.
H-Town loves us. H-Town supports us. We have.
wish we had a
have
arena
barely
here.
got into that. Yeah.
The Rosenberg one was pretty chill, but the Boeing Center's legit, dude.
You did the last one? You were
Which
the last
one? At the Boeing Center? No, I wasn't there. I was there a couple before. The first one you did there. When
Yeah, that
Micah
was
fought there.
very close to a sellout. Our last one in Bowl.
So I can't even imagine
If you
that.
were there for the
was,
previous one, it was great then. But dude, it was a packed house. Our last
That's
time
a
out in San
big-ass
Antonio.
venue,
Dude,
man.
hey, I'm not gonna lie. Rosenberg's fucking nice.
It's
man.
great.
That's
It's
big,
great,
dude.
but it's not.
Nobody wants to go out there, bro.
not, but
Nobody
it's
wants to go
close
out
enough.
there.
Rich lives there.
You live there. That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's 5 minutes
Dude,
from Houston.
hey, I'm outside, and the guy's like, "Coach, why the fuck do you?" I was like,
That's
Rich?
why Rich is
I
pushing
was like,
Rosenberg because it's like across the street.
Him and Raheel.
It is close to my gym.
Him and
So the
Dirty Bird.
it's.
Hold on. Why do they call it Dirty Bird?
I'm not from there, motherfucker.
Yes, you are.
It's called.
Hey, let's call
I'll tell you right now.
let's call Raheel and
Speaking of
ask
that,
him.
I want a show where I don't have any Main Street guys on there.
You just chill.
No, I want to commentate. Raheel's gone. You don't have to pay me anything. Yeah,
Dude.
yeah. I said it, Raheel.
Fired
I said it, Raheel. So I'll do it. I'll pay you.
Oh no! Listen, I'll pay double to have the two of them together.
Yeah, man.
I love
Hey,
Raheel,
that
dude.
would be great.
I love Raheel. I found an old interview that we did together.
You'll
Not
see
too long
this
ago.
right now. Raheel be like, and that was a nice jab. Fuck you, Raheel. Okay. Well, all right.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my! Yeah, it's you talk like we're getting to the 100th Fury.
That's crazy.
We're almost at the 100th submission hunter.
That's not so cool.
hates fucking
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, he hates it.
Yeah, that's Fury for
I
sure.
have to fucking
Nah.
legit make him fucking do.
Well, that's usually. I'm proud of
Speaking
you.
of which, this weekend, guys, we have an 8-man tournament for $5,000.
Let's go.
You son of a bitch. So, if you could talk about, like right now, we're talking about a TMF belt, outside of the TMF belt, give me your idea off the top of your head, Fury 100, what's the main event you'd like to see?
God, there's holy shit, so many.
You can't.
No,
pick,
'cause
you,
it's
you
like-
can't pick Ray Trujillo. You can't pick him.
You know, Ray's actually my cousin through marriage.
Oh my God.
Boom.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Hey, I nominated him for the Fear FC Hall of Fame.
he's insane.
He was our first
He is.
fucking
He
nominee.
is.
I legit remember my dad fighting his grandfather when we were kids, like at a house party. Yeah. Just typical Trujillo Perez, like, yeah. But no, Ray will fight anybody. Ray will
Yes,
fight
he
anybody.
will, man, anytime,
But
anywhere.
man, like current fighters or like fantasy, like
Okay, you know what? Let's do it fantasy. Let's do, if you can take
Anybody.
anybody.
from Houston or
Yeah, from
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis versus anybody
Yeah,
that you
shit.
currently have on your roster.
Derek Lewis and Despain, Robelis Despain.
Oh, come on.
Derek fucking-
Come on.
We're fantasy booking,
just so
man.
you know,
Come
I
on.
talked to Eric about that way before anything happened. So that being said, Derek versus anybody. Current roster. Gabe versus anybody. What do you
It's
think?
hard.
There's so many amazing fighters.
There's so many amazing fighters out there. I would have loved to have seen, and this is a fight that doesn't make sense at all. I would have loved to have seen a Andrew Craig,
Oh, I love Andrew.
Alex Morano go up to 185.
Holy shit, that'd be a fight.
You know, like that'd have been crazy.
That'd be a
right?
fight, man.
I think we're gonna finish up here in a minute. With
I like it.
who do you got? You got that's mine. I don't know. Morano and Craig.
That's a good fight.
It's only one weight class apart. Like fuck, that'd have been so cool.
Well, I mean, I just fantasy booked it
Yeah.
right there, man.
Derek Lewis and
Yeah, I
Robelis.
mean,
I got you.
I threw that one out there, so
got you.
we'll go with that, man.
So when we talk about, I think there's a clear number one when it comes to greatest Houston fighters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Derek Lewis has to be that answer. I don't know.
Like, is he the prettiest? Absolutely not. Is he the most effective?
Sexual.
Is he the most effective? Absolutely.
99.9%. Right?
I mean,
yeah.
I think the race is from 2 to 5. Like, where do you put 2, 3, 4, and 5? Who are the 2, 3, 4, and 5 greatest fighters?
Coming out of Houston.
in there.
Pineda's in there
Yep.
for sure, sure.
gotta
And
be right behind
so
Derek.
other than Eves, and
That's
like
how I feel about it personally, man.
Eves has to be on there, but I don't know if I mean, because he goes back to the '90s, like with Saul and everything. I remember back in the day, but I don't know if he was from. I think it was Conroe, but
That's
like,
close
but
enough.
I don't know if he came
Houston
from like.
area.
But so
We'll claim him.
Eve, Pineda, Derek.
Do you consider Mike Swick a Houston guy?
No, I don't. He's a Cali guy, man. I mean, I know he trained with Master Zolfi, but yeah, he's a Cali guy. Damn, I don't know. I mean,
So I've got my number 2.
Okay.
My number 2 is Alex Morano.
I love Alex. Everybody loves Alex,
13
man.
and 7. He's been
100%.
fucking 20 fights in the UFC.
That's great. And he's a 55er, Alex. God bless.
He's the guy who just didn't want to do sit-ups.
Yeah,
God
seriously.
bless.
Seriously, yeah.
Look at the success that he's had, man. The guy's a freaking stud.
Alex, I'm just a martial artist. I'm not doing all this.
And he's,
Could you imagine?
yeah, and he's the nicest kid.
155, well, he would've
A
been-
155 Alex
Oh my-
Morano? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think you go Derek Lewis, Alex Morano, Daniel Pineda. I've got Andrew Crane.
Andrew's got to be there. He was one of the OGs. Pitt was the first one. Other than Eves, Pitt was the first to go. Then Andrew came in right after him. Derek came in right after
And then
him.
I think it's where you put Eves. I
4 or 5.
like.
Oh, he's in there for sure. Yeah.
It's where does he claim?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, if
I mean, but he's in there.
Yeah,
he
hands
has to
down.
be.
He has
hands
to be.
down.
And,
Yeah.
and I could take him and Andrew and kind of flip them around. My 1 through 3 I'm pretty solid on. Like Derek, Morano, Pineda.
I like that.
And I feel
Because they're still there.
I wouldn't even like thinking that. And I think I put it with
They're still
what
there.
they've accomplished. Like you look at
Think about Daniel left and went back.
But yeah,
left it
dude,
with
that
that.
was so January 2012. We're in 2024. He made his debut January 20th of 2012.
that's crazy. And
that
now
whole PFL
hey,
debacle.
hey, listen,
Oh my God,
won
he
that
got
fucking
screwed.
fight.
Pitt got screwed on that
Yes,
one.
he did.
my number 6 is coming hard. man.
What you got? Well, you said 1 through 5.
I know,
Yeah.
but Josh Vance is gonna be. If he
I held off
So-
on throwing that name out there.
So
because
here's the
he
thing.
doesn't
I
have the
don't
longevity
know
that these
enough
other guys do.
about John. And to me, it's premature to say that at this point.
3.
Right?
It's premature. It is.
But it won't be
is.
long.
Yeah, you gotta
But
it
he
won't be
could.
long.
He's a down ass kid. He'll fight. He's respectful and he's great. But where's his longevity going to be? Where's his?
You're right. He's only been in the UFC for a year, dude. Listen, I'm gonna.
He's been fighting for 3 years.
He's 3-1 in the UFC.
Okay,
He's only been fighting since 2021.
it's impressive.
He's 7-1 before.
It is absolutely
you're
impressive.
right. He needs more longevity in the UFC, but I think we'll see it.
But this is a problem that
Agreed.
we see too from fans in general. He needs to fight a ranked opponent. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, not yet.
No.
not
When
yet.
he took that fight with Charles, that was a tough ass fight. I know Charles very well. That's a tough ass fight. And dude, I want him to do well. I'm rooting for him. He's, with Pineda now. I love them. But let's be real. Let's be honest about it, man. Like, it's a long road and a very hard road. And that it's not like that's a bold
Can
statement.
you give me some names
No,
that aren't from Main Street
no.
of fighters who you think are going to get there and going to have big careers?
Mike Aswell.
Yeah.
For sure. He's the first one that popped out. Cody Steele.
His opportunity's coming up here shortly, like a month away. Talking about Aswell.
Oh, yeah, he's a beast.
Yachty.
Yeah.
Well, he said not Main Street.
Not Main Street, because Bob has enough knowledge of fighting in fucking general. to
Yachty's
figure,
a
like,
fucking stud, man.
I think he should have already been in.
Yeah, for him not to have made it yet, I think it's just maybe due to being inactive.
Yeah, I was going
And that
to
was
mention that.
not his fault.
Right.
Well, a lot of that was that bullshit Combate contract.
Yes.
Well, listen, he didn't have to sign that contract.
That right
He had
there.
a home, motherfucker.
That right
I'm
there. It
just
wasn't
saying.
like you guys weren't trying to match
Just
him up.
saying.
Exactly.
Mismanaged.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mismanaged.
He's like a finish away.
And Bob got him out of that. Fucking
I got him out.
That's
Yeah,
okay. You gotta
yeah.
finish it.
But no, man. I mean, like you see the guys like and even though Justice is fighting Yachty, and of course I want to win. I like Justice. I think he's got a huge future ahead of him as well.
What do you think the holdup with Paris Moran going is?
I love Paris. I've known Paris for a long time.
Finish.
Well, he's got to finish, and I've talked to him. I talked to him after his fight. It's that kill. That kill
had
instinct.
it his last
The
fight.
last fight he
So
did,
we
that
see
was
that
very.
again.
And if we see that one more time, and he's with First Round, who's Lose My Friend, and like we talk about these things, I want to see Paris go. But the thing is, going too soon, going at the wrong time, these things all matter. I I think Perez is a stud. If he can fix a couple things, get that finish, get that kill, like the last fight, he's gone. And I want nothing, dude. I want nothing but success for everybody here. We just got to keep it real.
Right. That's the recipe, right? That's the recipe for the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Not a lot of losses, wins in a row, couple finishes. You're there.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that we have been very open with what the UFC tells us. So for those who don't know, guys, after we do a card, they look at the records of everybody on the fucking card. And then there's someone who was under 500, they hit us up, hey, why was this under this?
And let's be honest, like, we got a lot of shit from them about Cameron Smotherman's opponent this weekend.
We did.
And the reason I matched him with that guy was because I looked at the guy's last two opponents, and they were a 9-0 and a 9-1.
And
both of our guys that guy had fought.
I won't say I'm not lying. Like, we had a conversation where I'm like, should we pull him off Fight Pass? Like,
we were going to move him from the main
And honestly, Cameron's a young stud. He really is, But when you have something like that, then I understand that.
So
for
Fight
sure.
Fight Pass wants to know the records. They want you to finish.
They want to know the finish rate.
Or if you are not finishing, do you fight like Gabriel Macario?
So this is the thing.
Serious, like that's a fucking like you kind of smile and take that like, dude, that's a scale for me.
Y'all talked about this.
I'm like, do they fight like fucking Macario? Like, are they trying to kill this motherfucker?
That's it.
Like,
Yeah, you talked about this earlier about finishing fights at a regional level, and Mick has personally, Sean has. We've had drinks here. We were talking about it. If you cannot finish fights at a regional level, you're not going to finish it there. This is the only thing. The guys that are upper echelon for Fury are fucking studs, period. So I already view them same level as like UFC, like early on in the career. Right. So finishing those guys does get harder and harder. But at the end of the day, like you said, everybody wants that finish. You have to finish these fights.
And a lot of that came from, and again, shout out to the great Saul Solis. He said many times, if you can't finish the guy locally, you're not going to finish.
Saul was 100% right. Saul used to say, like, you could win the fucking amateur belt. Why are you going to go to pro? He was not wrong. He was not wrong.
You think nobody saw you squat down there all of a sudden? Hey, so while we've got you guys here, before we end up this segment, we've talked about this a few times, but I want to hear from you, Bob, and from you, Gabriel. Give me your, again, this is Houston.
Best sex story.
What was his name, Gabe?
Best blowjob. No, that's for Bob. Give me your Mount Rushmore of Houston MMA.
You go first.
Your what?
Your Mount Rushmore.
Oh, goddamn. He called you out.
Four people. So you got to choose 4 people to represent Houston MMA.
Oh.
Like in the history of Houston.
I think we've kind of
been through that. And like,
we've kind of hit on him, yeah.
Houston native, right? I've been here.
You've been here long enough.
Almost 7 years. But yeah, the guys you're talking about, right? Derek Lewis, like clearly the most successful fighter coming out of here. I've got Pineda in second. Then I guess Alex Morono, and I like your take, Josh Finn. Yves Edwards.
Yeah.
It's hard not to put Yves Edwards.
Right.
So he has pioneered too, like from.
No, he's a native of Myanmar, but we claim him. He's a Houston guy.
He's a Houston boy.
So Bob, you don't have to keep yours to fighters. Like if you want to, you could make it because I've got mine.
Saul would be number one, without a doubt. Saul would be number one. And I know this sounds weird because a lot of young people don't know him. Tim Mosel. Tim Mosel's a fucking OG, bro. So, people like in the 90s, like Kru Pong, like early 2000s Kru Pong, but Mosel, was very, he helped. Yves started with Tim.
Like selfdefense.net or some shit. What
Yeah,
was his
he started, Yves started with Tim. I could be wrong. So for me, just being an old guy, I like the pioneers, honestly. Saul for sure. I put Tim on there. I put Big Derek, just not because he's my guy, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's a knockout king. Like, how could you not? Mm-hmm. One more. Honestly, I'd put Mick Maynard on there.
Yeah, I think you have.
And I'm not just saying that because he's my boy, but like.
The Aussie?
Aussie. He's from Tennessee, brother. Did you know that? Tennessee till he was like 8th, then he moved to Sydney. Yeah. Bob, you want a beer? What the fuck is a beer? Oh, a beer.
Vodka water?
A beer, you water. Yeah. And Mick, just so you know, I'm the shortest man in the world. according to Mick. I know I'm taller than fucking Henry, taller than Uriah.
Side note, I'm gonna call him out right now.
Call him out.
He put up a little report where he's putting in his weight and his body shit the other day.
Okay.
His in body.
Okay.
He lists himself at 6'2", bitch. Wait. Dude, I sent him a message. I'm like, bitch, you ain't 6'2".
Mick ain't fucking 6'2", bro. Just like I'm not 5'7". So yeah.
Hey, he spent an hour on an inversion table.
Inversion,
over the weekend,
inversion.
So yeah, inversion table.
That's a
Mick.
solid Mount Rushmore.
I like it, man.
Very
But
solid.
and people sleep on Tim Mozo, and like he's just my friend, and like but dude, he taught Saul his first Muay Thai, not Krupong, and God rest Krupong as well. But Tim's an OG, brother.
Mine has changed a little bit in the last couple of
You're
years.
gonna add
Not
Andrea.
a lot.
You're gonna add Andrea in there.
Not that dog face.
CFO.
I don't need no ghouls fucking running around here. Like, I think you have to. I try to find like a fighter, a promoter, a legend. It starts with Saul Solis.
It has to.
And if you don't think it does, then you're just wrong. Like that's it.
100%.
You're just wrong.
And if people don't know who Saul is,
Yeah.
You're just wrong.
It starts with Saul Solis. I then think that torch was passed to Mick Maynard. I 1,000% love the Tim Mosley, dude. That's fucking amazing. I've got to put from him. I have to put Derek Lewis. He's the greatest fighter to come out of the city. Now, that brings 3 people to mind to finish that last 4th spot. And for years, I've had Colin Contrell in that spot.
oh God, yes, that's a great one.
I think Colin doesn't get enough respect.
That is a
Love
great
what he
one,
did.
and he's an amazing
Bart,
person.
Bart, yeah.
Oh, Big Bart, the Reverend, the Reverend.
Yeah, he was with Saul. He was here.
Yeah.
I've had you, Bob.
Oh, thank you.
I've had
Thank
you
you.
on that list, and I've had Eric.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look what he's doing.
I think
And you had Copley.
if you look,
Remember
if
that?
you look at
I
now,
shot him down. I said
if you
no.
look
said
at,
no?
if you look at right
Absolutely
now,
not.
I think what we have now at Fury, whether take this how you want it, it's bigger than what we had at Legacy
100%.
before LFA.
100%.
Bigger,
Dude.
It is so much bigger. We were in HD net, and then Access TV. Like this is so.
And you were
much
there. You were
bigger.
part of it.
I was, man, and I've seen
I remember watching some of those
what
shows.
he's done, and I have to put like. Whether you like it or not, we got to have a Mexican on the fucking Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, but dude, like I said, we go back. Dude, I used to hold pads for him back in the day, man. Like
I used to get ready for fights over there.
he was first and foremost a fighter.
It's badass, man.
He's a good dude.
Gay.
He's a good promoter.
Yeah.
If you look at what he's done, it has come
Bisexual.
strictly through perseverance or persistence.
Yeah.
He could have quit a long time ago.
there was no talent.
You could have quit. I could have quit. We all. And but look where he's at, and look what he's changing lives. As cheesy as that sounds, he's helping people change their lives, man. And I just put Mick on there because he was the first, and
A lot of what Mick did paved my way.
and like just like Saul did for me, and I'm gonna try to do for younger coaches. Like, dude, it's part of it.
And listen, and there's so many unspoken names that listen. If you don't know who Kru Pong is, you're fucking wrong.
Oh, you don't know Houston
You know,
MMA,
like,
dude.
if you don't know that Eric Williams is one of the fucking top black belts,
He was the first
He
black
was the
belt,
man.
the
He
first
was the
non-Brazilian
fucking man.
black belt
Yes.
here.
So like, there's so many amazing stories, and Mount Rushmores are so hard.
They're very subjective.
But I do feel that Houston is an underrated city
Oh, dude.
for how much talent there
My
is.
God.
How many
Yeah.
gyms can you go train with a fucking world champion? Just go.
Yeah.
Choose a fucking gym as a world champion.
It's crazy, man. And I've had offers to go to Top Team, to go to Jackson's, to go to different schools, and I'm like, dude, I am never leaving Houston because we can do it on our own. Number one, go into the politics. Let's legalize marijuana, please. Let's get more fighters here. But dude, like people see Cali or Colorado or Vegas. Dude, Texas is a shit, man. Let's go. Come to Houston. You've got a hotbed of amazing fighters. No matter, I don't care what gym you're from. We have badasses here. And I would love to see more people embrace that culture and stop the bullshit. I hate this gym. I hate this. It's childish, man. That's childish. That's immature. We need to be pushing each other up, elevating each other. And we're going to go a lot further doing that. I'm telling you.
I will say, I love everything you just said. That shit makes it hard as a matchmaker, man. Like, it's so hard
Yeah.
when they're like, hey, I
can't
train
fight
with-
so-and-so.
I train with Main Street.
For sure.
I train with War.
Yeah.
And I train with Gracie
That-
Baja.
yeah, I understand
Fuck
that.
me, I can't match you.
But here's the thing. But here's the
you
thing.
pick your opponent
Hey,
then, right?
You're Big Bang Hank. bring motherfuckers in.
Yeah.
And-
We have the
we
ability
do
to
now.
Yeah,
do that.
and that's what I instead of Aswell fighting Yachty, and we've talked about this, Justice fighting Yachty. I'm just using them. Let's bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Let's get Justice up. Let's get Yachty up. Like, let's get Houston up
I can
for
tell
sure.
you, I can tell you behind the scenes, the conversations we have.
Oh, they're filthy.
It's all it's pure sexual.
The lies.
It's pure sexual, but like we don't want to knock off Houston guys. Like
Yeah.
we really try not to, but we also
I don't want to
we
knock
gotta
off
re-
any prospect.
Exactly, bro.
remember-
Exactly.
We all got to
Houston,
remember
you gotta
also
do what you gotta do.
that we're not just a Houston company anymore. We are a worldwide.
So freaking
fucking
weird to
brand.
even hear, man. Like where we
Dude, it's
started,
crazy
yeah,
to say.
yeah.
It's
amazing.
crazy to say. Like when I haven't been here as long as you, as obviously clearly Eric has with his own fucking brand. But like when I came,
What?
he gets what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
too.
Bitch.
Yeah.
So
I have to fuck with you though.
Turn his mic off.
Yeah.
So Captain Llewellyn Bando motherfucker over here. So when we
Rubber band.
rubber bands. Can we get rubber? Anyway,
He didn't get it.
when I first got here to Fury,
I get it. It's just not relevant.
like I didn't believe in Fury.
Yeah.
But what I believed
Are you
in,
motherfucker?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Fury or
This
Garcia
fucking
Promotions?
guy.
Garcia Promotions.
what I believed in was this fucking idiot next to me, because like,
Oh, he's a hustler, dude. He
had-
knows.
He had
Yeah.
a vision even then.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm gonna put this many guys, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I was like, maybe he will.
No, and dude, I mean, look what he's done. He already had success as a businessman,
Yeah.
you know. And I look at
Male porn
Mr.
star.
Garcia. I look at his dad. Jesus Christ, dude, he comes from good stock, man. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll quit Main Street.
It's very
If
short,
you
but it's
need a
thick as
new
hell.
right hand man, get rid of him, and there'll be no conflict of interest.
Take it.
So, yeah, go ahead, Bob. But no, dude, like at the end of the day, like Barry Lamanick had asked me a while back on a podcast. He's like, "You've had a lot of success as a coach. What makes you different?" I'm like, "Dude, absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
other than the fact I don't quit." Same thing with you. Same thing with you. Same thing with all of us here. Like, as long as you just stay true to your path, don't fucking be a bitch, don't give up, you're gonna have success, and it's gonna be
There's
here.
Something else that makes you different as a coach too.
My mustache?
Like,
The mustache, definitely.
the love that he puts in to the gym. Like he takes everybody in like as family. And you know, and like when you really care about what you're doing, like the results are different.
Yeah.
And you can see that in Bob. Like the culture that is in Main Street is really cool to be there and like be under Bob and be under Bob and under Brian too from Hands with Kills. Like it's the same culture. It's just like
Don't
it's
give
just-
Brian any credit.
Yeah.
Right? No. Jiu-jitsu, what is that? So no, we always say, and it's a shirt that he had made for our motto at the gym, all you need is love
Yeah.
and a little bit of violence.
That's my
And I
favorite.
firmly
Yeah,
believe
great
in that.
fucking shirt.
Yeah, I firmly
Yeah,
believe in
man.
that. But man, no, I'm telling you, man, and
dope. Yeah.
just so you take that shit, man. Just so you know, man, like for me as a coach, I had Pitt, Jeremy, same. I mean, dude, Drew Ratajczaks. I coach so many of these coaches. Even if he's my student, whatever, even if they beat us in a fight, I'm like, all right. I helped in part of that development, you know, like even though we lose, like I feel like I won in helping this man kind of like find his path. And I think there's a lot to be said for that.
You know, as you guys sit back, you know, we got a few more minutes. Fucking, I'm drinking.
It's your show. You do what you want.
So like Diego, you got enough memory card?
Let's do it for
You never
a couple
know.
of
Hey,
shows.
listen, so
Poor Diego.
what I
I
want
got 37 hours. So
what I want to know.
Let's go.
So we have a lot of young fighters that listen to this show.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from an experienced veteran of the sport and a grizzled. I'm not done. Grizzled,
Fat too.
old,
Fat.
handicapped, fucking old coach. Like, what do you tell that new fighter to focus on? Like, you're getting into the gym, you're under a year, you haven't hit a 1 year yet. Like, what do you focus on?
Well, I guess try to figure out if that's really what you want to do, you know, because if it's not, it gets rough, you know, and you're going to want to quit. So figure out if that's really what you like, what you love, and what you really want to do. And if it is, like, delay gratification, you know, like focus on your shit. And because that was my problem, like I was saying, you know, detouring, like just having an easy life back in Brazil and just like going on and partying too much. You know, and not focusing enough.
Slinging ass.
Oh, bro, let me tell you, he's a man in Brazil. I'm just saying, we've been to Sao Paulo together. He's a man. That's all I'm saying.
Slaying ass.
Slaying ass, Gabe. Be honest. You were
Well,
slaying.
I was a
were
fighter.
slaying, bro.
I was a fighter when I was 16, 17. You know,
So you're saying
I wasn't ugly
from
or
17
anything.
on, I'm not ugly. You've seen a ton of titties, right?
Be honest, Gabe. Be honest.
I'm not proud. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it too.
You
Not
slayed.
proud of it.
But
You be
well,
proud.
I don't know. Like I've always
Slayed.
avoided avoided commitment and the hard part of relationships. I had one when I was really young, and I was like, "Ah, fuck that shit," you know. And that's just where I'm here. I'm like 31, and I'm 8-9 for the second time. I'm negative in my record, and that could have been a lot different. I had an opportunity to be in the Ultimate Fighter Brazil when I was 21.
You were an
and-
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was on the first fight. I lost the fight and didn't actually go to the house. But you can see me on the first episode losing that fight.
Young Macario.
Oh yeah, he was a
Yeah.
baby, dude. He was a baby.
And man, had I had better focus that time, who knows what could have happened, you know, and where I could be now. So figure out MMA is really your shit. If you really like that, and if it is like really, really delayed gratification, zone in and just
It takes
It's
to
gonna
make
pay
that.
off.
It takes to make that walk to the cage though, and actually get your first fight to really know if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I
I mean, some people will find out in the training room after they get punched in the face the first time. Like,
It's not for everybody.
fuck this, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
this shit. I'm not gonna
And I think that's why you've had success too as a promoter. You've been there. You've walked the walk. Mick's walked the walk. Mick fought for me before. Like, you know, it's one of those
Understand
things.
that, have the empathy for the fighters, you know.
And for me as a coach, kind of the same question. Number one, this isn't for everybody, and we all know that. Why are you doing this? So I want to make sure that your heart's in the right place. And at the end of the day, you know, whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever, I believe in God. I always say, like, God made you the fighter. You know, the day you're born, God already made that decision. I can teach anybody how to fight, but that doesn't make you a fighter. So, and fighting sucks. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, as much as I love it, it's hard.
It's a lot better now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still-
It's not for everybody. So I just want to make sure more than anything, their heart's in the right place. Find a gym that's reputable. Find a gym where they give a shit about you, and then we go from there.
Anywhere but Main Street, right?
Main Street's terrible. Yeah. No. I love our gym. I truly do, man. And I do believe this too. Like, young advice for fighters: the gym takes a personality of the head coach.
Right.
The gym takes a personality of the head coach.
Hey, so why does Derek Lewis not have a handlebar mustache?
He tried. He can't. He's just, his T level's not high enough, man. That's what it is. But don't trust me if I
Son
could.
of a gun.
He just messaged me earlier. I posted a picture from Canada from like 2017. It was me and like Deadpool, like at a comic book store. Since it's coming out tomorrow, I was like, I'm going to post it. He's like, I just bought one yesterday. Like, fuck, bought what?
Bought what?
A Deadpool, like a life-size
whole
Deadpool.
statue?
And I'm like, dude, that's badass, man. Dude, Derek,
Does he have a financial advisor?
me.
Okay. Well, help him.
Like, stop buying shit, Derek. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, right. No, he honestly does. He does. Derek has been smart in investing. Derek's money is Derek's money, and I make it very clear. Like, I give him like the dad advice. Like, hey, you don't need 8 cars.
Cars are
you know?
cool, but dude, buy real estate.
Dude, he's
Start
on,
businesses.
He's on 22 acres in Huffman. He's
yeah.
got several businesses that people don't know about.
Awesome.
Derek is so much smarter
Does he
than
wanna
people.
buy Fury FC?
No,
Hey,
no,
hey,
no,
shout
no.
out,
Dude, I might talk to you about that shit.
Shout out
Let's
Beauty
talk.
Links.
Let's
Beauty Links,
talk,
right?
man.
Links, Beauty Links, his wife's business.
Yes. I mean, dude, he's doing amazing, man. And dude, when I met Derek, and I'm drunk. I don't care. I'm trying not to be long-winded,
You
but
had
when I
sex
met
with him?
Derek, dude, I love it. He
Hey, you're the guest. Take your time.
1-bedroom apartment. They walked everywhere. Like, dude, to see my friend, somebody that I genuinely love, go from that
To
to where
succeeding
he's
at the
at,
highest levels.
Fuck,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
When
I can't.
met Derek, I was going into Silverback, leaving tickets and posters, and there was a mattress in the office.
I'm telling you.
That's where he was sleeping.
It's. I mean, I'm telling you,
So
man.
me and Derek made our amateur debut the same night.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
2010.
So that was around.
Does it to Verizon or
Eric,
That was it.
and Eric
Frank
beat him.
Frank
That's
Hart.
right. That's
So
right.
that was around the same time that he was being managed by Reagan McDaniel
Oh,
at
Reagan.
B3 Sports. And I remember my introduction to Derek was Reagan saying, "Hey, I got this kid. He got a lot of talent. I just need to bring him some money because he doesn't have anything."
Yeah.
And he didn't. He was living on a fucking cot.
Living at the office at
Yeah.
Silverback.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm telling you, man, like, I couldn't be happier for him.
dude.
You know, and there's been a lot of times when we're like driving together, road trip or just whatever. You know, it's usually quiet. Everybody knows my balls was hot and Derek being
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
but Derek, you know, in person is like this.
Yeah.
And there have been times where he'll kind of open up to me, you know, about certain things that I know, maybe other than his wife, that he hasn't spoken to a lot of people about. And that's always amazing. He's had a really fucking hard life.
Yeah, yes.
You know, he's been through a lot. And just like I said, I want to see all of us succeed. There's enough sunshine for everybody. But to see somebody you genuinely love do that, and dude, you know, thank God he found Tony when he came in. Like, I mean, when he got out of prison, man, like, he was lost. He found George, he found Tony.
He
and
was going to go boxing first.
that's it, man. You know, but man, thank God he found these people and put him in the right path. And, you know, his oldest daughter's in college now. Like,
so cool,
it's
Dude,
his,
that is awesome.
dude, his oldest son, I think is 12, maybe 11 at this point. He's like a size 14 shoe. And I'm like, good luck, brother.
Oh man,
It's crazy, like when you look around and how we're all getting fucking old. You know, like I'm sitting there and we're watching Lester Bautre's kid.
Isn't that I used to
His
train
kid.
senior.
Yes, his kid dominate. You see, I don't know if you've seen Eric's kid fucking recently. He's like 7 foot tall.
No.
Yeah, like he's way bigger than his dad.
Jesus,
like out of nowhere.
he looks like the mailman.
Like and then all of
The
us,
Amazon
all
guy.
of us from back in the day remember how big of a deal like Mick was so happy when Andrea got pregnant with Colt.
Yeah.
And and now Colt's in fucking like high school.
Oh, yeah.
Like
You know what was his first word?
It happens quick.
Bob.
Colt Bob. He had this raz Bob. Yeah. But no, we were just talking about the other day. I mean, they actually went through hell with this last
Yeah, they
hurricane.
did. Yeah.
They
Good
pretty
for
much have
them.
to rebuild their
Good
house.
for them.
You know? What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, this guy, man,
What's
right?
wrong
You
with
can't have
you?
all sunshine, bitch.
They had windows blow out of their
Mick,
house.
the
Y'all
next
got
time-
a foot of water blow in, and
The
this guy's
next
celebrating
time
it.
Rich asks or says that he's got a prospect, you shoot him
the
down.
I'm gonna say it's from Main Street. The Maynards have had plenty of fucking sunshine. Have a little rain, bitch. Have a little rain.
Damn! That, honestly, Eric, that's probably one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
I would consider firing him.
Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah.
would too.
Canceled. Canceled. You're canceled.
Is canceled still a thing?
He doesn't want to do this by himself.
I think people got sick of that shit.
I think we're kind of past
Over
that.
it.
We're getting there.
That's
We're getting.
awesome.
I don't know if we're there, but we're getting
get
there.
there.
Like
I don't-
enough people are like, "Hey,
You can't be
you know
canceled.
what? Fuck you.
You just
Fuck
have to
that."
believe you can't be
Would you
canceled.
vote for me and Derek?
Would I vote for you and Derek?
If we got free
But
T-shirts,
I'm vice president.
Oh, you're vice?
hey, if we got free T-shirts out of it,
Yeah,
then
yeah, do I get a
I mean,
T-shirt?
What,
I
what do
have
we
them
get out
at
of this? If we're doing politics, what do we
thought
get out
about
of this?
giving one to my good friend Eric because you won't answer my fucking phone
I don't.
calls.
Listen, I answer no one's
I
calls.
know.
Like if you text me, I'll get to it. If you call me, I'm not gonna answer it. I don't have the answer you want.
Motherfucker,
Well, that day I was like,
They'll
hey,
send
I
you
have
the
this really hot
voicemail
guy
on
that wants
fight
to
day.
meet you. You're like,
Yeah.
you're like, what's up, bro? Yeah,
Hit me up.
exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm terrible about answering phone calls. Text, I'll eventually get back to them. No, man, it's Derek Lewis is I think the classic. It's not even rags to riches, man. It's like he didn't even have a rag.
No, it was crazy.
Yeah, you know, he had nothing.
Yeah.
And now he's earned through
He
hard work
truly has,
everything
man.
that he has.
And he does give back. I just want people to know that
Dude,
he
it's
does give
so
back.
good to see, like, just him, man.
He's one of those
Absolutely.
guys that where if he didn't give it back, I wouldn't really care.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for sure. No,
you've,
for
you've
sure.
earned it all.
No, he
deserve
really
it all.
has. You know, man, did I talk about the Popeyes thing?
He saw what
the last
DC
show?
did to that Popeye's chicken.
Oh, disrespect that. So let me tell you this. So the whole Popeyes thing, I don't even know if Derek realized it. But I picked him up one day to go to the gym because God forbid he have to drive
Right,
to the
yeah,
gym.
yeah.
So I took him to the gym, and we passed this Popeyes on 290 in like 1960, and he gets really quiet. Don't say anything on the way home. He's like, man, when I was on parole, I walked about 9.5 miles, kind of round trip, and I didn't have a car. And he would stop in that Popeyes, and they would either feed him or give him a cold like cup of water or something because they knew like, man, who's this big sweaty? They took care of him. So my point is, I don't even know if it kind of clicked here when that whole Popeyes thing came up. In my head, at least subconsciously, like he's got a lot of love for them because when he didn't have a pot to piss in, and he's sweating his ass off, and they would actually take care of him when he would stop like coming home from his freaking parole officer. And to me, there's a lot of beauty in that, man. Like he might not even realize it, but subconsciously, I'm like, dude, that's why.
You know,
They stay in your head.
One of the things about him that'll always stand out to me, and he's unlike a lot of people. Like, listen, he's a fucking celebrity. He's a massive.
It's weird,
He's a massive
yes.
star, but you would never know that.
No.
Like,
The
especially
cream
if you're
always
if you're
rises
one
to
of
the
his
top.
friends, you would never know that. So the last UFC that was here in Houston, he's fucking mobbed every time he goes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was just walking through, and you guys know me. If I'm walking through and I see somebody I know, I'm probably not going to say hi. I'm just going to keep fucking walking.
What a dick.
I'm going
What a
to do my
dick,
shit.
man.
I'm just
Dick Burmaster.
Keep it real.
Y'all are doing your thing. I'm fucking. I don't have time. I got shit to do. You know, like I'm trying to get where I'm going. I love you. Text me later. You don't have my number. We weren't friends in the first place. So but I'm walking and I hear, hey. I went, God damn, that's a deep voice. I turned around and it was Derek.
Yeah.
And he called me out from the crowd and said, hey, what's up, man? And
He's
he
that dude. Derek
gave
is
me a
that guy.
hug and just say, hey, I just want to say hi, man. I saw you walking by. And I was like, hey, man, you're the fucking man.
Dude,
I love you.
that's
dude.
really cool.
Yeah, and like he's never lost that.
Yeah.
You know, and the same thing with Mick. Like Mick's never lost who he is.
Mick is Mick. Mick is always going to be
Fucking
Mick.
faggot, but like, he's exactly
Beep.
who
Sorry.
It's a little late.
Sorry.
We might get canceled.
We were a little behind on that beat there.
Am I red?
Late on the beat for that one. All right,
You're a little early with the
But like-
F-bomb
but like,
that, you
those
know.
guys have never changed.
No.
They never changed.
They're real dudes,
and,
man.
And Bob, as much as you're a piece of shit, as those guys,
I am a
that's
piece
all
of
they
shit.
Fucking heard.
Hey, that was the
Like,
shortest
with as much
studio tour ever.
as you've had. Like you've never changed.
Dude, I really try. Like, because, dude, I mean,
Mine's the
honestly,
outfits.
you guys, the outfits are fucking
The outfits are
legit,
fucking
bro.
lavish.
I have style. Old Russian guy. As long as you make these guys your priority, like for younger coaches, the fighters a priority. If you truly love them, you truly care. If you don't quit, the success will happen. I've made a lot of money in this sport.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate with some of the guys that I've picked up. I've only developed a few that have done really well. But, you know, in coaching, you develop, you know, certain things and you get people. I've been very fortunate, and I just genuinely think it's because I fucking care. You know, and I think that's why. I mean, and I'm still just fat old Coach Bob, man. Like, I just, you know, we'll go back and forth on certain things. But at the end of the day, you know, I love you guys, and I know you love me, but it's a business, and we have to separate those things. That's why Mick and I have stayed like this, because we separate our business from him being my boy Mick. He used to, like I said, he fought for me.
Man.
But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing.
And again, we thank you guys, because without, you know, the foundations that guys like yourself and Gabe have put together,
Yeah.
you know, Fury wouldn't be what it is, man. Like,
Dude,
Fury-
we couldn't be
Fury-
where we're at without the
Fury is-
what you give us.
Fury is Fury because of the fighters, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and as I've said it for years, and what brought me over here, it's made me stay with Fury, is just like Mick. Eric is fighter first. You know,
'Cause he's a fighter. He knows.
The goal is to make sure that like we take care of, we support, and we give you the opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know, so thank you guys for
Thank you.
not just capitalizing on opportunities, because again, fucking historic fights, man.
Yeah.
Love to see you. Love to see all the success you have, man.
Could have capitalized more.
I'm
Yeah,
fucking tired.
We'll
of
get
talking
it.
to you guys.
I will get us out of here momentarily, but before I do, I would be remiss if I didn't give this man, Gabriel Macario, the opportunity. We had a previous guest on a while back, aired some personal business that had your name in it. I would be remiss if I did not give you the opportunity to respond to any of that if you so choose.
Perfect. What is your question?
And on that note, the time for talk is over. This has been Fury Unleashed.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Howler Head Whiskey. You can check them out at howlerhead.com, a handcrafted, award-winning, 80-proof Kentucky straight bourbon. And listen, damn it, it's got the flavors of banana. You like MMA, you like Dana White, you like the UFC. Let's support them, baby. Get the bourbon, get the Howler Head Whiskey, the only whiskey you will find at Fury Fighting Championships. howlerheadwhiskey.com, howlerhead.com.
And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise, because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the Fury!